Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the break. It's time. We appreciate your patience as always, and now we get things underway for North America. This is the knockout gauntlet. Winner of this relegates to tomorrow. They play in the playoff bracket. Loser drops down to the lower side of the bracket, and they continue on for a chance to move to tomorrow. Again, thank you for the patience. Let's get into the series. Up first, it's Built by Gamers in Fantastic Four, and it's Allie and Fox on the call.
I know we had to wait for a hot minute to get into this game. I'm glad we are, as the first gunfights start going back and forth, and Fantastic Four end up on top. But they do have to start worrying about rotation here, as number 4, Got a Rex on your minimap is already deep in for the next hill.
Got our X already set up and waiting. That AR in the background is exactly what you want, but he's being fished out right now. Shark in the water is slack as he's able to take him off of that power position. The pressure still pouring in from middle map is too much for him to handle as the team shot takes him down. Panda's going to be the one to do that, and rotation begins to the next hard point as scrap time still goes to this team in pink, Built by Gamers, as they look to mount the first lead change of the map.
Fantastic Four, as they were able to get him out of the back and secure spawns for themselves. Now going into the second hill, they might be able to create a comfy lead here, but Godarex and Panda have something to say about that. Unfortunately, though, the cavalry wasn't there, so time is still going on the side of Fantastic Four.
So far, Pentagram killless at this point as we see all blue in the kill feed. Fantastic Four have been able to wipe the remaining Built by Gamers players, and pouring in through the front of the hard point is going to be so difficult when you got methods in position. We've got support around the hard point as well, even with the 3-man flank looming. Kismet coming through and opening things up in a big way with that double kill should be huge for the pressure of Built by Gamers. And as you can see, they all take control of the hard point here for the first turnover of the hill. However, Fantastic Four bounces right back. Still one player remaining alive, and that's Fire in the mix. Semtex, well placed just behind his feet, will be enough to take him out and award Built by Gamers with the scrap time.
Built by Gamers finally forced their way in, but only for a couple of seconds to change that lead, and now they have to worry about rotation. Godarex once again left by himself to try and fight for these spawns as he finds one, but he's going to also have to take down methods if he has any hope of getting these spawns in the back of the next. He finds one. He has the interslack, the snap, and turn. He lights him up, but is not taken down on either side, so now his teammates can come up through the mid side and fight through the back.
Pentagram was killless up until he finds the 4 streak on his last life there. Big surge from him to help Built by Gamers try and climb their way back into this very small deficit, this small lead that Fantastic Four has been able to extend for themselves. And they look to push it further with multiple kills in a row, Slack staying alive, Fire as well on a 2 streak. They have to get back past the wall of some machine gun players that have been able to play their life up to this point as Fantastic Four extend their lead by 30 seconds up to this point.
Fantastic Four heating up as Fire is sitting at 9-3, Slacked 8-7. Gentroid low engagement on his side as he's 4-3, but he has a minute and 15 seconds in going in the objective time. So going on to this final rotation again, that's going to be 2 players on the side of Fantastic Four trying to take down Godarex, who time and time again has been trying to get these spawns in his early rotation for his teammates, but unfortunately is always by himself and has no help going on to the next hills.
Fire is double positive. He's been sat on the street only to be replaced by Methods after he falls, but Panda with a quick shot of his AR is able to connect with 2 big double kills to get those to take those AR players off of street. That should relieve some of the pressure for Built by Gamers to push up, but of course Methods right off of the spawn knows where he needs to be. Planting his feet inside the bus, he's able to provide some supporting fire for his team, but it's still just not enough as Built by Gamers are able to hop onto the objective. They keep pouring it onto the hard point here, and this war of attrition seems to only favor Fantastic Four, who've been able to keep it even, mostly neutralizing the contribution of Built by Gamers and maintaining that 50-second lead.
What seemed like a Built by Gamers getting into the hill, actually Fantastic Four was able to rotate 2 players in through mid to create a pinch so that as the trades went down, nobody ended up on top of the hill, and Fantastic Four can keep their 50-point lead. Now this is a first. Built by Gamers, they have 2 players looking to be on the rotation. It's going to be Godarex and Kismet already in the hill. Godarex takes down 2, but now you're going to have to worry about Slack trying to hit from the side. Built by Gamers finally getting an early hold on this rotation, but Fantastic Four, they answer right back. Mathig finds Kismet in the hill, and now 2 more players are going to look to slide in.
2 players in the mix to hold it down. Panda and Pentagram come out with no kills and 2 completely individual engagements. So Fantastic Four, outnumbering them, are able to swarm the hardpoint, take over, and flip it just like that. So now we see Gentroid taking point with 30 seconds remaining on the hill, and the players of Built by Gamers dying individually, one by one. We see that stagger should be able to hurt them in the long run. Trophy system support here will be able to help out Pentagram, the remaining player on the hardpoint, to play out his life a bit longer, but you can see none none of that puts bullets back towards Jintroid. You have to shoot back, and this man has been able to survive almost the entirety of this hill on a 5 streak.
Fox, I don't know if you saw that, but all of the members of Built by Gamers, they had the spawns in the back, but 3 members pushed up with Pentagram to fight for what seemed maybe 10 seconds of scrap. And so not only did they not get that scrap time, they also flipped themselves out of favorable spawns and then gave it into the hands of Fantastic Four, which is the last thing they need to do when Fantastic Four is up 133 to 7 to 82, 83, 84 as we go, but Built by Gamers, they're able to go right back in. But Fantastic Four, I mean, they don't even have to play that much for this. They can hit this one push, decide to take the rotation, and go for spawns and next. So Built by Gamers, they need to make a change here.
Yeah, Built by Gamers getting flushed out of the hard point here. GodRx was in the back line looking to stay alive for as long as he could as Pentagram was coming in to bring some support, but took just a bit too long. He gets caught reloading at that. So now, again, we have a very staggered, kind of separated spawn coming from Built by Gamers. They're going to leave the scrap time to the side of Fantastic Four, now extending the lead to beyond 60 seconds as we get to the new hill. But what's working out for Built by Gamers is that they do have the man advantage on this crucial part of the map. Let's see what they do with it.
Once again, Built by Gamers, now they're set up for this rotation, but they had nobody in the deep back, so when Kismet went to kind of check the spawns, he got taken down, and Fantastic Four just get in so easily as all of BBG falls, and they're spawning across the map. Fantastic Four, they could look to break 200 seconds here, and Built by Gamers have yet to break 100. They need to get this push in here. They have one chance before this game looks like it's about to get out of hand.
Yeah, Ali, I gotta say, it's looking like Fantastic Four running with this one pretty confidently. Kismet's on a 3 streak right now, looking to make a difference for his team, but you see, of course, Fantastic Four has his number. They're making that call. They're keeping track, and they know they need to dump water on that fire before it gets too crazy. Pander, though, will pull multi-kills regardless. We've seen this hill after hill on this map so far. And once again, we see it does translate into a turnover of the hard point as Built by Gamers will get the scrap time. Again, rotating to the street. Built by Gamers still have a 70-second deficit to work through.
And once again, on rotation, Kismet, he is all by himself in this window right now as he's waiting for all of his teammates to hopefully make this collapse. They have a line of Fantastic Four players to get through before they are able to. And, you know, usually the story with BBG is Kismet kind of putting them on the back when it comes to respawn, when it comes to hardpoint, and carrying his team through until they can all kind of heat up. But that is not what's happening here, as he is 14 and 21, and Fantastic Four are just ripping through BBG.
Making very short work of them at this stage of the game. Methods with the double kill fire, of course, there to support as well. And you see there's just no answer back to Methods. He's able to sit on this chest high cover and wait for more support. They're just racking up hill time. 50 seconds away from winning this game, and they look like they're pretty well positioned to get the last 20 of this hill as we rotate here. Expect to see the Built by Gamers players try and get into a position to get the initial hold, but what we've seen frequently is a Fantastic Four come through and break it. And the submachine gun players just deal with GodRx last in the back line.
17 seconds on the clock, Built by Gamers. You do not need to be fighting for that scrap time, as you now have a messy setup going into this next hard plane where all Fantastic Four are just going to trade you out, and there goes the kill feed, lights up blue. That is all of BBG down except for Pentagram. He finally gets shut down, and I mean, for 20 seconds is all Fantastic Four needs to take this first map. I mean, you needed to stop contesting all these 20-second scrap times and start dedicating to the rotation. I just haven't seen that out of them. They have to play a perfect hard point if they want to put themselves back in this game.
Absolutely, and part of their problem is going to be Fire dropping 30 kills. I imagine for most people, that's of great concern. For Built by Gamers, it's a huge part of what's putting them behind by about 100 seconds here. The winning team at the moment, Fantastic Four, could win it on this hill, but of course it's going to be right down to the margins there as Built by Gamers continue their pressure and continue pouring it onto this hard point to stop that clock.
It's one of those things where BBG don't really have a choice except try and contest, and Fantastic Four, they could play for scrap after scrap after scrap time to win this game, as they only need a mere 7 seconds. So we're on board with Jintroid as he's going to try and play his life here as he sees the rest of BBG just all on a hunt for him. He finds 2, he finds 1 in the back. Pentagram doesn't get taken down, but I'm sure we're going to see that happen shortly as time for a second goes to BBG, but Fantastic Four gets the trades out, and it's looking like game 1 going to the side of Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four looking to finish off this fight here. As you can see, they do it, closing it out on P3 in a pretty dominating fashion. I mean, Ali, we got to talk about the fact that Fantastic Four just recently lost Decimate to the Seattle Surge, and at least so far in map 1 in this matchup, these guys don't look like they missed the stride at all.
Not at all. When I look at the lineup, Gentroid, Slacked, Methods, and Fire, Methods has just been consistent across the board in all game modes. So I think adding that consistency to this roster really helps, not to mention the addition of Fire, who he's fantastic in S&D. And then you look at BBG and, this roster has stuck together, time and time again. And that's kind of something we see with like Team War on the EU side of the region. And although they find success sometimes, I didn't see it in that hard point. They weren't rotating properly. And once they did rotate, it was always a very wonky setup. Nobody was really holding their lane, and then they would dedicate to 17 seconds, 20 seconds scrap time when they really didn't need to. So it was definitely just unfortunate overall.
Yeah, as additionally to that we saw throughout the game, despite them going for all of the scrap time in the ending engagements, what I'm sure we'll see in the highlights here as well is you would just see 2 and 3 Built by Gamers players drop instantly, right? Like at the same time, and then the anchor player, the AR player in the background, typically GodRx, as you'll see, he'll have the lowest death count throughout this entire map. He'd usually end up being the player that died last, right? So there's just not any trading that was happening efficiently throughout so much of this hardpoint, and it really ended up hurting Built by Gamers in the end.
And then talking about Fantastic Four, they were there. They were at rotation every single time. They were always together. They were always playing trades. It was never just one player kind of going off on his own. And Fire and Jintroid, they just felt like they just had their way at the map. Everywhere they went, it was 1 or 2 going on side of them. Not to mention we're watching Methods just kind of beam through a couple kids as 3 light up the kill feed. All in all, having to make such a last minute change, they are looking so good at respawn.
Yeah, they're looking awesome. Fire right out of the gates, dropping 30 plus kills and keeping one of their players killless for at least the first 2 or 3 hills is pretty impressive. Definitely a hot start and a great beginning to the series for Fantastic Four here. Built by Gamers, you got to see them. You got to expect for them to bounce back. We've seen some of the damage that players like Pentagram can do on the side of Built by Gamers. I think that they unfortunately have themselves matched up with some of the toughest competition in their region, right? The players of this roster on the side of Fantastic Four are getting pulled up to the Call of Duty Franchise League for a reason. We got Decimate that just left them, who last year was playing with the LA Gorillas. All of the players on the side of Fantastic Four, lots of professional experience on there. And so let's take a look at the remainder of this series here, Ali. We got Raid, Garrison, Apocalypse, and Express up next for the remaining maps if we make it to that point. Do you have any thoughts on the Raid Search and Destroy that's coming up between these two teams?
The thing about BBG is they always have to have one player kind of carrying them through in the beginning. They always have to have one player that's kind of going off to allow the rest of them to catch up. And I'm worried about them in this series. After that map 1, I didn't really see that out of anybody. Even in the last moments, nobody really just started making the sliver of hope of a comeback. So going into the S&D, I'm looking at Fire, I'm looking at Methods, and I am terrified for the side of BBG because they need Pentagram to be going off. They're going to need GodRx to be getting those first bloods, and if they can't kind of put that hard point behind them and they play the same way that they just came out in that hard point, I don't see them showing any life going into the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it's going to be a real tough one. That the way that they looked in Hardpoint was scary. Fantastic Four came through and they were just looking for a swift victory. The AR players, especially Methods, always in the right spot. The submachine gun players, especially when you look through the eyes of Slacked, just always able to punch straight through as that frontline player for the kill, and then it was never responded to. There was no trade, there was no opposition. So I'm curious to see how that unfolds, especially when we look at who's going to try and maintain control of Laundry on the B bomb site on offense. I think that it's going to be really telling of the outcome of those engagements.
I'm expecting a lot of more so strat play on the side of BBG. I feel like we're going to see a lot of kind of what we saw earlier in our Game 5 Round 11, a lot more strategic baiting outs on the side of BBG, whereas Fantastic Four is kind of the team that gets into your face. They're a very aggressive team, and so I guess I'm just curious to see how BBG decides to react to that and how soon they decide to, because once you let Fantastic Four kind of get on a roll, it's incredibly hard to slow them down. And I guess now I'm just going to ask you predictions, Fox, going into the Raid S&D. I am favoring Fantastic Four just for the fact of the S&D and how much of a closeout it was, but I do think BBG, should they come out hot, could show some life going into it.
I gotta say, BBG looked very deflated throughout most of map 1 right there. They seemed like they were playing a man down at some stages, and we have Fantastic Four, who's hot off of that victory. Certainly some of the toughest players in their region, and I feel like I've been watching Slacked play on Raid for a decade. So I'm mostly in the corner of Fantastic Four as we get into this next map. I think that we find them up 2-0 in this series, and I think that we kind of see Built by Gamers struggle along to its conclusion.
Like I said, Built by Gamers, I'm expecting the coach Ronan Strats to come out and show me some life after that hard point. So as we hop on board with Godorex already trying to take an off angle to maybe catch fire should he decide to peek out, but he doesn't look like he's going to make any movement anytime soon.
All right, looking at Kismet, the bomb carrier caught off guard. Unfortunate stop right there. Slack does find the first blood and get away with his life. Bomb down on the stairs now as Built by Gamers know better than to walk up and just try and pick it up. Middle map control heavily in favor of Fantastic Four. They've got Zig too. Pander is looking to wrap all the way around, but Ali looks like he's going to be met with the worst encounters that he could look for. Pander wins the first engagement though, and it's mixing things up a bit as he's got the support from Pentagram too.
Man, Slack went back and checked the stairs too. He knew Bomb was down, and then as soon as he goes back into that corner, he gets answered by Pander. And as soon as I start speaking, the round is over. So BBG not going up 1-0. They turned an unfortunate situation to a fortunate one, as we're going to watch Pander take down 2 once again. He gets the kill on, excuse me, not Slack, but I believe he's about to turn on right here. There it is.
Wow. See, and Pander, they were set up for this flank, which is why I was doubting the completion of this flank. Pander comes through and finds the double kill regardless. And then we saw the Kobe from downtown with the Semtex top bedroom to pool. I mean, just a great way for Built by Gamers to close out that round after they had that man disadvantage, right? They got blooded as Kismet, the bomb carrier, died on stairs. So really just excellent recovery from them, and you got to give them respect for that one. 2-2 split now for their defense. They got 2 players in kitchen, 2 on the B site. One looks to be getting a little bit aggressive towards circle so that he can look through pillars. Long-range engagements going down between the AK-74U players as Jintroid chooses to back out of that one. Methods ends up catching him, though, catching Pentagram to find the first blood for Fantastic Four.
Seemed like they almost wanted to make the bait onto the A site and then kind of cross the bomb through mid over to B, but unfortunately Jintroid wasn't able to take down Godorex at statue. So now bomb falls and suddenly Fantastic Four is just crumbling. I mean, 2v2 definitely doable, but they still have to go cross map to pick up bomb at the A site, and Kismet and Godorex, they definitely know. First gunfight's going to go against Kismet. He gets caught a little bit, but he makes it out with his life. So now both teams have the information, but again, Fantastic Four has a lot more work to do.
So they give up the ground here to Fantastic Four on Zeus Tree. They now have the high ground looking over the bomb site at A. It seems they do know the bomb is down there. Laying just around the corner is Kismet, waiting for them to turn it. He's laying on top of a trophy system as well. Godorex has the supporting fire from stairs, as there's one in kitchen. Slacked in this 1 versus 2. He's going to be met with one at the top of the stairs, and he dies. The next player was laying prone next to the bomb. That's Kismet, who finds the easy trade, and Built by Gamers go up 2-0 in the S&D.
Beautiful patience out of Kismet. I was confused because I thought he was laying down watching the bomb, but then once it got picked up, I was like, dang, he must have been just a little bit off on the angle. But, I mean, he just stayed in that corner and ended up picking Slack, who's going to check the bomb site again. So, BBG now up 2-0, completely different showing than what we had saw from the hard point. I mean, Kismet's 3-1, Godorex and Pander 2-1, respectively. Pentagram, he's got his engagements even across the board where Fantastic Four, Jintroid and Fire, 0-2. Those are the two, if anything, I expected to be doing the most in this search and destroy on the side of Fantastic Four. But, I mean, they're just getting shut down.
Yeah, so far off the start, all has gone according to plan as Kismet was able to plot their demise, leaving them at 0-2. Jintroid will find his first kill. It's a first blood at that and get away with his life. Bomb carrier just around the corner looking to challenge him up next. He needs a bit of support to finish the kill off. Slacked is there for it. Up in the window. The next challenge, again, tried and true, but just a little bit too late. Slacked read it and responded and found the first round win for his team.
Built by Gamers, I respect the play. I mean, many teams have been doing this on this raid S&D where they just force up the bomb all the way into the other team spawn and just play the aggro, play the aggressive trades. But BBG, you are just not that kind of team. So I hope they learned their lesson with that one as they are still up 2-1. Kismet did end up finding a kill in that round. So he is now sitting at 4-2. But again, this is a much more methodical team. I don't expect them to be playing that aggro again anytime soon as bomb starts to make its way over towards the A site.
Two moving up, two staying at bedroom. They will be met with players on pillars. Kismet connects with just enough shots at range to put down Methods, and he gets away with his life. Someone in Zig is looking for him, and he tags him with the stun. That little bit of information is good. He's able to get away with his life as Jintroid comes up, peeking through the stairs before being traded. Kismet takes his head off as well. This guy's shot has been great so far this map. 6 and 2. Smelling the trail of another player on circle, loses that engagement as Slacked gets the better of him. He's taken that engagement so many times over the last 10 years. And now we see the bomb carrier on stairs here, Ali. It's just up to GodRx.
He got such bad timing because they crossed each other at van, and then I think he heard him, so he went to get the kill, but Slacked ended up coming out on top. GodRx, so now stuck in a 1v2 situation. We've seen worse things happen before, but Bomb is going to go down on a 28 seconds on the clock. Looks like GodRx is just going to wait for it to get that information and fire. It looks like it's going to be an AR versus a sub. Who's going to take it? 30 seconds on the clock.
Bomb is down and planted for basketball court. GodRx assuming that because he saw no one pop up to check stairs. Checking all those corners very carefully. Of course, Tiki Hut could peek inside money window. No one's home though. Tactical tags up nothing, but he gets tagged up himself. And that's all the information he needs. All lethals and tacticals exhausted. Fantastic Four, the final player, is able to sink the remaining shots and tie us up at 2-2 in this 1v1 clutch.
If he didn't get tagged there, or at least played a little bit longer until his health went back up, I think he might have been able to take that with a headshot or two as he was snapping right onto Jintroid on that heady. But now tied up 2-2, not what we expected to see as a side of Fantastic Four. I mean, you have Slacked at 5 and 3, but across the board, it's pretty negative. And I mean, Built by Gamers, they're still positive. I mean, Kismet 6 and 3, GodRx is 4 and 3, Pander and Pentagram respectively. But oh my God, GodRx finds 2 to add himself up along with Kismet. He heard me talking about him. He didn't want to be any less than him, but he's looking to find his third on fire as he finds it in a quick round taken back on the side of Built by Gamers.
And you kind of saw the play call there from Built by Gamers. We're going to get to see it again here. Look at how much they were putting into this route. So many Semtexes and tacticals and the trophy system that went right down in Zig. They knew they wanted a commanding presence on mid. And they got exactly that, opening up with a double kill. GodRx, of course, finishing things off as well. Really just a quick execution and great follow-through from Built by Gamers.
I completely agree. And GodRx is now sitting at 7-3. He is on a 3 streak, so we might see him slow down a little bit and maybe try to play his life for those score streaks. But on side of Fantastic Four, we're going to see Bomb go to the A side once again. I feel like we've yet to see a full commit from them to go to that B side. And I'm surprised they keep going in the middle as they keep getting just ripped down by the ARs on the side of BBG. And all the information's out. Fire's going to try and kick off Instagram, but no shots end up going through. Slack passes a couple in mid. The aggressiveness out of Fantastic Four finds them too. And now they're going to lay Bomb down at the A side.
The focus this game so far has been all around middle map and stairs. Not a whole lot going down on Laundry or on the B site. And we see Fantastic Four again comes out on top, but it's really been back and forth on this part of the map as we're tied up at the middle point, 3-3.
Fire wanted to answer of his own. A quick round by his side of Fantastic Four, and I feel like that's a bit of their win condition as they are a very aggressive team. And if they just keep getting in Built by Gamers' face like this, I don't think they're going to have time to react.
We will see as the action unfolds. We are at the middle point of this matchup. If you're just tuning in, Fantastic Four face off against Built by Gamers. They're coming off the back of a landslide victory in hardpoint. Definitely a crushing blow as Built by Gamers definitely come back hot in this search and destroy. They were up 2-0. We've seen Kismet with some crucial kills. First bloods in their favor quite a number of times, and we see it again here as Pentagram finds one. Staying alive, he looks to keep the pressure on Laundry. His presence alone forces 2 players to back up. Now, with control of top Laundry, we could see Built by Gamers decide to get the bomb down on B, as they've completely cleaned house. It's just Slacked on pillars to worry about now.
Pander's just sitting back at the bomb as he picked it up from mid and pillars, and he's just picking Fantastic Four apart as they're starting to run away from the site. Slacked is going to be able to pick up one. Bomb goes down, though. 40 seconds on the clock. He has to take down 2 players on side of BBG. Not only that, but definitely have the information of where they are. As we look at the minimap, Pentagram and Panda are both looking back towards the spawn of Fantastic Four. I'm hoping one of them turns soon before they get picked off, but Slack's unfortunately not able to connect to any of the kills, so now they know where exactly he is.
Slacked has him in his sights every single time, but they just barely get away Of course, the remaining player here should be able to stop the bomb defuse. Just 10 seconds left on the clock. He starts to defuse, but had to give it up. Top Laundry able to catch him off guard and finish off that round as well, as Built by Gamers with stellar post-plant positioning come out on top.
I almost feel like he could have stuck it, because instead of peeking the bomb again and taking the gunfight, he kind of went for almost a window play. But again, back and forth rounds on both sides. The aggro play never usually works for BBG, but Panda had something to say about that, as he took down 3 players on his own that round.
Yeah, and of course that play call right there for Slacked. It's a whole lot easier for us when we can see through walls, but you know, sticking that might have felt good in the moment. He's so worried about the challenge that ended up coming through, and it still wasn't enough there. So now as we get into this next search and destroy, you can hear my helicopter is landing outside.
You got somewhere to be, right?
Yeah, my people need me. We got someone just outside of front art. That's going to be Slacked. We got 3 players pushing towards the A site. And you have to wonder, with them being outnumbered on that site, what could come from this?
Pander gets taken down by Methods, unfortunately, so that's a lot of damage down on the side of Built by Gamers. There's now 3v4. Very slow play going on right now. Nobody's really giving up too much. As soon as I say that, bomb's getting planted at A2 and 3. That's going to be Godarex and Pentagram. They know it, but Fire's going to watch over his teammate and get the trade. Now another one falls to Fire again. Now it's just Kismet, 7 and 5 on his own. He gets shut down as soon as I talk about it. Fantastic Four not looking to give BBG any room to wiggle. They're fighting back to try and get up in this S&D.
Fire locking it down on poolside. Just put him here every time. I feel like we've seen round-ending kill cams of him slide canceling around pool stairs every round. So every winning round so far for Fantastic Four.
Completely. And now as we are tied up, we should probably see these players slow down even more, as nobody wants to give anything away. I mean, on the side of BBG, you have 7 and 6 respectively of Kismet and Godarex. Pander at 6 and 5. Pentagram 2 and 6, but he doesn't really need to, as his teammates are doing so much work on the map. Bomb, though, on its own, trying to make its way towards A. I guess a little bit of a bait on the side of B here, but number 8, Fire, he's going to be sitting there, but he gets taken down by Pander. He doesn't even need his teammates. He's his own army, and now as the kills start to go through, Built by Gamers are in a 3v2. Bomb's going to go down for free at A, while Methods and Gentroid, they're just trying to sniff out Godarex.
Looking for him. Methods, almost catches Pentagram there. Now he's double teamed, needs to back off. Bomb goes down as well. Built by Gamers, they're going to close it out with great communication on the remaining player on middle map. That's going to be Map Point, as Built by Gamers putting up a great fight in this S&D.
Back and forth and back and forth. We might come to see round 11 in our game 2 Fox, and what a stress ball that would be. BBG need this win. They want to stay alive in this series, and they only have one more round to go to absolutely do it. But Slacked 8 and 7, and Methods and Fire 7 and 7, 7 and 5. They're looking to say something about it. It's kind of funny, the contrast on both sides. Gentroid 2 and 7 and Pentagram 2 and 6. They're just sitting back watching their teammates duke it out for a little bit, but Gentroid, he does have 2 objectives under his belt, so I'm not going to pick on him too much, as we're on board with him again as an aggressive play out of Fantastic Four, but none of the BBG is there. I mean, maybe Pander, but he's going to get some picks here if none of them decide to really push up and just shoulder the side. But Bomb is going to go down for free at B unless Godarex decides to make an aggressive push.
Dropping the objective right away. Nobody in art just yet. Pool stairs and middle map is covered, though, by Godarex and Pentagram. We see Pander finding some kills on Laundry as well. Lots of damage happening on middle map as Pillar's control seems to be lost. Gentroid is outnumbered and will need some help here soon, but it's just not enough. The Built by Gamers swarm has arrived. Clearing out the B site, they stick to defuse and find their map win 6-4.
Pander was on a 5 streak on the end there as he cleaned up 3 players on the side of Fantastic Four, and Slacked, man, if he just didn't make that cross and held his position for a little bit longer, I think he would have gotten both kills before his teammates were smoked out, as we're going to watch it happen one more time. But, I mean, it can't come down to just that round, as Built by Gamers were able to take 2 in a row and not allow Fantastic Four to get any wiggle room.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard-fought battle for sure, but we saw Built by Gamers in those post-plant positionings pretty consistent. Kismet on an individual level was certainly opening several windows of opportunity for Built by Gamers, and I'm sure we'll get to see much of it throughout our highlight reel. And taking a look at what Fantastic Four was able to do, I still think that there's something to be said for what Fire was able to do on pool side of the map, right? It seems like whenever it was all up to him, some work got done. He definitely saw it through to its completion, but in the end, it was Built by Gamers as a unit. They were able to pull through. Ali, were there any moments in this game that stood out to you?
Well, it just made me want to touch back on what I said earlier, where BBG is one of those teams where, they only find success usually when one person kind of starts going off in the beginning and the rest of the teammates kind of rally behind that and catch up with them. And that's what we watched in the S&D. We saw Kismet just off the gate start going off, and then, Godarex started following behind him, and then Pander followed behind Godarex, and then all of them were suddenly firing on all cylinders. We're not going to talk about Pentagram because he didn't need to do anything on the map as they ended up taking it. But Fantastic Four, the kind of mirror to that is they all just started off slow. And then they slowly started to come back and slowly started taking rounds back, because I believe Built by Gamers was up 2 rounds right off the bat. So I don't think Fantastic Four are down and out just yet, but Built by Gamers definitely needed that win for the rest of the series.
I think Built by Gamers definitely made a statement for their competency in search and destroy against the side of Fantastic Four. And I think you touched on it well, on how it just kind of took one player to start that chain reaction of everyone kind of coming together and being able to rally in the end. Fantastic Four having a bit of a slower start. I don't think it was. I think that's more to how well Built by Gamers was playing, though, versus how poorly Fantastic Four might have been playing. It was more because of the success of Built by Gamers, is what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to see what they do throughout the rest of this series. Getting into the control, though, Ali, do you have any predictions off the top of your head what we can expect to see in this map?
I am definitely favoring on the side of Built by Gamers going into the control. I saw Fantastic Four play control earlier against LEG, and they got 3-0'd. So already that stat line scares me, even though they weren't able to take the series. Built by Gamers, after that S&D especially, if they're unable to shut down kind of momentum that Kismet and Godarex and Pander created for the team, I feel like Fantastic Four could definitely end up falling very hard here. And if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be in a 3-0 fashion on BBG.
So, Ali, we're seeing Decimate leave the team. We're seeing them find the new 4th for the side of Fantastic Four. Do you have any kind of takes on the shoes that need to be filled for someone like Decimate?
I mean, definitely a lot of slaying power, a lot of, first engagements on the side of Decimate. I feel like the trade out was almost a little fair, though. The players that replaced him are on the same stature as Decimate, but it definitely sucks this late in the Elite Series to have to trade out a player, lose a player, and kind of, work your way back up against teams like BBG who haven't really made any changes, who have gotten, the time to work and kind of create their baseline teamwork. And that's what kind of we're seeing when it comes to BBG. We're seeing that consistency that they can be around each other and what they can do when one of them starts going off and they kind of bounce off of each other in sort of a chain. Whereas Fantastic Four, for them, they have to all start out hot together, or they're all starting out slow together. And I feel like that could definitely be a downfall. Right,
and so as we look towards the conclusion of competition for the North American region in our first of 2 matches for tonight, I'm looking forward to see how the bracket unfolds and how the competition rises, as all of these players, they've been working together for such a long time, putting it all together for this Challenger Series. Playing virtually, I'm sure a lot of people are itching to get back together and play locally. You have to wonder what it's like to be in this kind of unit for such a long time and not be able to interact the way that you have historically. It's got to be tough for them to really try and duke it out here as we come to the closing moments of our playoffs. Do you have any thoughts on the way that an organization like Built by Gamers has invested in their players?
I respect it. I respect it immensely that they put in the time with their players. And for me, I always feel like when it comes to NA, it's constantly roster switch outs all the time. It's just constantly replace every week, and everybody struggles, to keep up with it. And with teams like BBG who just decide to stick together and decide to, work on themselves and work on the team as a whole, I feel like, you definitely find consistent, slow and steady success versus instant success that might end up falling later, as I know some of us like to call it that honeymoon phase. But going into this control, I know we talk about matchups sometimes, and for me, after that S&D especially, I think it's going to come down a bit to Pander versus Fire. We saw a little bit of fire under fire at the end of the S&D. I had to say it, and I think it's going to come down to kind of both of them as the aggressive ARs.
Yeah, I think that you raise a good point. I think that it's going to come down to that kind of it's going to come down to that role for sure. And as we look as well at what some of the AR players in the lobby have done, such as GodRx, I mean, we're talking about a player that was on a team that placed number 2 or placed second place in our second challenger event here. We're talking about someone that's made upwards of $20,000 at the very least already competing in the Challenger Series in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. We got some talented players in the lobby on both sides, and I think that while I do still favor Fantastic Four in this series overall, I think that Built by Gamers are going to put up a great fight and keep this series interesting. Garrison Control. Do you have any thoughts on what we can expect to see from maybe the newest addition to Fantastic Four on Garrison Control?
If anything, what they need to do, it's kind of about win conditions now in this point of the series. And the win conditions for Fantastic Four is they need to shut down the momentum that BBG just built for themselves as we hop right in on board with methods. Never mind, we're going to do a little hot restart. But as soon as they got me excited, they were just like, no, hold on, go back. What were you saying? And again, Fantastic Four, off the momentum of BBG after that S&D, BBG is historically a team that once they start winning, you can't stop them. Once they are on the roll, it is very, very hard to stop it. And that's exactly what Fantastic Four need to do if they don't want to get shut out in this control.
Yeah, you gotta get the ball rolling. You gotta get the ball rolling, and I think that we saw a lot of that in map 1. Once those gears started turning and the engine was running, and everyone was clicking, that's when they were able to close it out in the end and get over on Fantastic Four. BBG definitely no slouch in this series, and coming into the Garrison Control, they have to still feel comfortable about their chances here. Fantastic Four, of course, coming in with such a presence, with such a star-studded roster, that's something that is in the forefront of your mind. But this is also competition that you've seen before, right? The Challenger Series is only getting more competitive, especially as players get pulled up to the COD League. So I'm looking forward to see what Built by Gamers brings to the table as they're able to tie up this series at 1-1. Garrison Control is what we're hopping into next. And I know we've seen some recent shakeups in the weapon meta. Ali, do you have anything that you might see, that you might expect to come out in this series? Any kind of surprises?
Surprises, not really, but I will say the meta that we're in right now is funny because of the beginning of the game and how much it's been, you know, overpowered guns and AK-47Us, AK-47, the Krig, and then the XM4. I definitely, what we're in right now is what was kind of to be expected, the Krig and the AK-74U meta. And what I think is cool is we have a lot of veterans on both sides, on Fantastic Four and on the side of BBG. And, you know, we see a lot of these younger players getting pulled up to the league. I'm just wondering, with you and your thoughts and how long you've been in the scene, you know, what it's like to be, what do you think it's like for these veteran players who have, you know, found so much success in the Pro League and now in Challengers, but having to still sit back and watch these younger players just constantly get pulled up, you know? You ever think they feel like they're falling behind? Or, I mean, do you think that lights more of a fire under them?
It's got to be annoying because that's your competition, right? You're scouting them because you might have an upcoming match against them, but you're also scouting them because, wow, this 19-year-old kid might be a good teammate, right? This might be someone you want to put under your wing. So that's something that's constantly in their mind. That's how you get players like Fire that come up. That's how you get players like Simpabeezy. I mean, there's just so many incredible talents in the COD League right now that ended up getting their start under veterans and being able to play against them in these Challenger Series just beneath the franchise level. So I'm looking forward to see how that unfolds. And bear with us here as we're getting the players situated for game number 3. Garrison Control between Built by Gamers and Fantastic Four. Looks like all the players are ready and willing to start this game up, and we can hop right into the action. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're tied up 1-1. Built by Gamers are coming off of their victory in Search and Destroy. It was a 6-4 on Raid. The hardpoint, much more of a one-sided affair as Fantastic Four was able to take that one. And you see opening things up on Garrison.
Ready, the initial push out of Fantastic Four as they're going to try to force their way into this B side as trades are starting to go through. Your kill feed is lighting up pink as Kismet finds 2 and can now kind of push up into bricks on the side of Fantastic Four and kind of shut them down off of spawn, which is the scariest situation to get into, especially this early in a control.
Very dangerous spot to be. Kismet knows exactly where he's supposed to be with the AR after finding that first wave of kills, and that's why you saw it took so long for Fantastic Four players to even run into his line of sight. They assumed he was there. They split off towards arches, they split off towards bricks from the other entrance, and it still wasn't enough. The presence of Built by Gamers is overwhelming right now as Fantastic Four try to fight their way out of the spawn. Pandir and Kismet doing so much damage. Pentagram here to follow it up, and once again, Kismet in the position with the AR looking through bricks. I mean, it's just such a tough spot to be in.
Kismet continuing his 5 streak from the S&D as he is 5-0, 20 seconds on the clock, hopefully trying to play for some streaks here. Finally, Fantastic Four get a 3 wipe, trying to make their way onto the B side. They have to answer Kismet, once he finds one more, he finally gets shut down, and with 13 seconds on the clock, Fantastic Four are getting their first couple of kills and ticks onto the B side.
Jintroid making progress through the second tick here. One player just around the corner in lights. As he's tagged up, Kismet will be able to put him away. Fire, supporting Fire as well. He's able to finish the job with methods. Slack will be the one roaming around middle map for their support, and he's going to be crucial in their rotation over towards Zone A. He should be the first one in the action. Falling first is problematic as Kismet's able to get over top of him, but that did give the remaining Fantastic Four players time to mount up a defense around Satellite. The trophy system comes down, Kismet rolls through and dismantles it anyway, and they clear out the A zone.
Scary for just a second there as Fantastic Four started wiping Built by Gamers off the map, but they're able to get those right back, and now 10-16, life's up inside of Built by Gamers, and we're going to see a couple of takedowns once again here in mid. Pander just knows where all of them are. He now has found 2. Kismet 10-2, Pander 6-3. Fantastic Four, we need you to wake up and wake up here soon, even though you only have 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Built by Gamers making it look real easy up to this point. Fantastic Four, they were killless for a large part of this game. The kill deficit has been steep, very steep, since this game started. In Kismet, look no further than his contribution as for a reason to why that is. Fantastic Four, as they end up counting off their last remaining lives, Built by Gamers take a victory lap and close out the first round of this control.
Jintroid knowing there's just absolutely nothing he can do on his own in the back, as he's just waiting for death to come to him by BBG. And so first round, they're going to go up 1-0 by Built by Gamers. Kismet was on a 3 streak, I believe, as we were going out. We're going to watch a bit of a highlight reel here on the side of him. I mean, he is just snapping onto Fantastic Four. And Fantastic Four, I mean, I feel like they find most of their success when they are playing together as a group. And that's exactly what happened after they got that first wipe to get out of their spawns. They started playing closer together, and they started getting the kills inside of Built by Gamers. But, I mean, again, they answered right back. Kismet 13-3 on a 3 streak. They have to play perfect defense here if they want to stop this ball rolling.
That's right. This is the catalyst on your screen right here. Kismet has been the one keeping the gears turning for the side of Built by Gamers in this map. He loses the initial gunfight there as Slack is able to drop down on him. So look to see the control of middle map here come under fire as Slack wants to survive the hunt from Pentagram and Pander. He ends up finding him, but Pentagram sticks him with the Semtex and shuts that play down. So we still see Built by Gamers trying to mount up that middle map presence, and Jintroid is still alive and a thorn in their side.
Built by Gamers are just trying to get a little bit of mid-map control here. They're not even trying to commit to either site. They just kind of want to get a good foothold so that they can make one push to either side. But Fantastic Four, they're just not letting it happen as Fire is now trying to push up in the spawn, but he does finally get picked up by Pentagram. And as the kill waves start making their way towards the side of Built by Gamers, Fantastic Four are going to have to play some good defense if they want to hold on to this site.
Jintroid with a double kill, defending the point. Kismet is here to follow up and respond. He's able to find 1 kill with the support of GodRx on to Jintroid. As they start to capture that point, we expect to see a quick response from the Fantastic Four players that are so close by. Jintroid just around the corner, just beneath them. He ends up being stopped, though, after finding his initial kill, so expect to see Methods and Jintroid to follow it up as he spawns so close. They do just that, 2 straight. Tier 2 progress underway. Pander looking to finish it off, and no, he finds 1 kill before being taken down. And I don't think that they still have not gotten this tick progress onto B, but it's oh so close.
They have to know that they just killed 3 players of Fantastic Four. Faster, push up onto the B site, get that ticks through. B is going to be gone and dusted. Number 6, Pentagram. He has control of green right now, which is very important for Built by Gamers. They want to make this rotation over to the A site. As soon as I say that, though, he does get traded out, and now we're going to slow it down a little bit as a lot rides on the shoulders of GodRx as he's going to try and force his way to the deep back of the spawn, but he doesn't know. Methods is just sitting at an off angle waiting for somebody by Built by Gamers to make that push.
I'm looking at Kismet prone, just crawling his way into the hard point, approaching 20 kills, throwing fire off and taking his head off his shoulders as well. I mean, this guy is just a mastermind in this series right now. Slack finally puts him down as he still stayed in the corner motionless, and Pander with the trade now looking for the player on bricks. Methods is there again. The cleanup, just trading blow for blow as both teams still continue to slug it out for control of Satellite.
I wish I would have seen a little bit more commitment out of BBG there, because little did they know there was only one player on the side of Fantastic Four pushed up on the A site. So if they kill him, all rush in from green, that might as well have been all of A and all she wrote. But 40 seconds now on the clock. Once again, they find themselves all in green, but 3 players on the side of Fantastic Four in this site. But number 6, Pentagram, he gets on the back. Why isn't he pushing up the spawn? He decides to backtrack into bricks for some reason. As there's 28 seconds on the clock, they need to make a push, and they need to make a push now.
Fender so far behind. This push is going to be started off outnumbered for sure. Methods finds the first blood, and Fire still untouched on the point. The guy in green, GodRx, never found an opening to come and confront him, and you see Fire's had no reason to move. Methods is on a 3 streak, just 8 seconds remain. This is their last attempt, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a good one.
There's just no way they're going to make their way in now, as they have to get through the pre-fire of Fire as he hops into green. And Pentagram, if there's one rule you need to follow when it goes into Call of Duty, is the route man gets paid and to never backtrack. But unfortunately, he went up to the spawn, he got the kill on the one guy in the back, and instead of making the long pinch for his teammates, he decides to backtrack towards Brick and not find anyone. So now, even across the board, 1-1, Fantastic Four and Built by Gamers. Let's see if they can hold on here.
All right, Kismet, what do? You got Methods on a 4 streak on the other side. He could certainly beat you to that 20-point kill mark. That's the race I'm looking for here as we come into our 3rd round of control on Garrison. Fire set up on middle map. He's overlooking some players that he sees drop below the tank. Kismet still catches Methods, finding the double kill as he takes Fire off of his tower. And now he's looking for green control too. He wants more. One just around the corner. They're waiting for him. Tagged up, taken down. That's 2 straight for Fantastic Four on the defense of their point as they make progress towards the 2nd tick. So this is a great response from Fantastic Four, who looked like their setup was dissolving before them as everyone fell, but they're still able to maintain some progress on the A site.
I love the play out of Fantastic Four as they get the kills and push up onto the A side and able to get those 2-6, but the problem is Pander and Pentagram just staring at your spawn as the rest of your teammates just get taken down. And once again, within the first 20 seconds of the control, Built by Gamers have Fantastic Four and a lock in their spawn.
Kismet found his 20, and it looks like Pentagram and Pander have actually surpassed Methods, who started this round at 15 kills on a 5 streak. It's been very, very tough for Fantastic Four to get a foothold here and get a consistent map presence as Built by Gamers keep the pressure up. Lots of fighting going down around the B site, and we're seeing Built by Gamers comes out on top in the end as progress is being made, but Kismet knows he's not safe. 1 player remains. That's Method. Sat on top of the point. Kismet ends up getting just behind him, putting a few on his back before having some support on the point as well. Still 2 players from Fantastic Four remain on the B zone. That's Slacked and Methods. Gintroid. And the last one remaining is Gintroid, who finds a double kill. Still trying to control lights, but getting tagged up and hit by Semtex is just so much damage as he's abused at that point. Fire comes up to follow it up, though, and we're in the closing moments of this round here, Ali. And it looks like Fire is able to get more progress on the Zone B.
Built by Gamers, they learned from round 1 that when they push up on the spawn and then get wiped very quickly, it allows Fantastic Four to get a lot of control on the B site. And so they started to back up into mid to kind of prevent that from happening, but unfortunately Fantastic Four just punished them way too much for it, as they now not only have 2 ticks on A, but B is gone. So now we have clock reset. We're at 1 minute, and Gintroid is looking to force his way in, but thankfully Pander's there ready and waiting as your kill feed starts to light up pink. Fantastic Four, though, they only have 3 lives, I believe, on the board, as Built by Gamers is really starting to feel the pain that they created when they had that spawn trap.
Yeah, big deficit. Big deficit. And you see the way the control plays out, you could very easily fall behind there, and that snowball gets rolling from Built by Gamers as it keeps going and crashing through the remaining players in your team. It's Slacked and Gintroid against about 15 different Built by Gamers players here. Not a lot of time left on the clock either. Built by Gamers is going to close that one out. I mean, BBG just looks awesome right now. Right, Ali. This is a pretty stellar performance from them collectively as well as individually. What we're seeing out of Kismet is just nuts.
Oh no, their defense on control is terrifying. I mean, within the first 20 seconds of both defensive rounds, they have you trapped in a complete spawn trap, looking down the barrels of Pentagram, Godarex, Pander, you name it. All of them are pushed up into your sight, and that is just the last thing you want. And Slacks and Gintroid, they could have done it there. It had me scared for a second. They got the 2 kills in the back, and if they had pushed onto the site together and maybe gotten those traded out, they only needed 1 tick onto the A site, but fortunately didn't go into their favor. So now it's do or die for Fantastic Four if they don't want to go down 2-1 in the series against Built by Gamers.
That big long range engagement off the start, won by Methods. That could be a big first blood and determine how middle map pressure plays out here. That's 2 in a row go in favor to Fantastic Four. Kismet, though, looking to blow wide open with a flank before being caught. That does support the rest of his team around lights. Pander looking to be alive and find that bird's eye view. He connects with some shots for some damage, but not enough in the end as Fire puts him down. Pentagram is here as well. Fire does get away with his life, and GodRx is on the hunt.
He knows he's there, and he will end up taking him down, and possibly Slacks as well in the middle as he finds Q. He could just hop up into green and force his way into A, but he decides to stick mid with the rest of his teammates. He might get timing onto Gintroid. He doesn't, as Gintroid answers with the AK-74U, but the contest is going down at the B side as 3 members of BBG are all against Methods. Panders finds 2. They just need to be aggressive now as they push up into the side. Fantastic Four, you do not want to spawn trap on the defensive side. I promise you, as all of BBG is capping the B site.
That is 3 straight, and then certainly a capture to follow it up here. The defense is set up for the side of Fantastic Four as they understand it's going to be a minute and a half of defense to work through. As Built by Gamers now mount their new offensive front to just the A zone on the map. Pentagram and Kismet opening it up. No response so far from Fantastic Four, and how many times have we seen this? There's just no trade efficiency on the side of Fantastic Four in these defensive positionings. Gintroid as a one-man army finds a double kill, but he's in the end overwhelmed. And now, Built by Gamers have gotten right where they want to be.
Huge too by Pentagram and Bricks to kind of create that opening for his team. Gintroid tried to stop it with a 2-piece of his own, but the cavalry unfortunately was not there for him as 2 ticks are going on the side of A. Fire, you were the only one in, but streaks are getting called in from Kismet. 32 and 19 on a 5 streak. Once again, Fantastic Four has 1 chance to get in. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to, as maybe 0.1 of a tick needs to make its way through as the kill feed starts to light up pink.
Yeah, and there it is. Built by Gamers, really just such swift decision making. I mean, they're just so quickly collapsing on every opportunity in front of them. The multi-kills immediately followed up by pressure on the objective time and time again. That's gonna spell victory in the end.
Some seriously scary control out of Built by Gamers. I mean, Fantastic Four, they allowed themselves time and time again to get caught into a spot trap, and that's just not what you want to do, especially in a game mode like Control. And I mean, PBG, they just look so good. They're always moving together as a unit. I mean, there was very little mistake plays, like when I saw Pentagram not go for the flank, but I mean, they looked scary overall, and it's not even what Fantastic Four was doing wrong. Again, just like the map before, it was what BBG was doing right.
Yeah, and I'm sure as we look through the highlights, we'll get to see once again what it's like to be put through such a devastating spawn trap when time and time again you guys are trying to get out of that corner and you're just wiped. We see Pander doing a lot of that damage. We saw Pentagram doing the same, but mostly it's through the hands of Kismet. This is after he crawled his way onto the point, by the way, to get some support and fire under the objective. This guy approached 20 kills and was able to break that before Methods, who was pretty far ahead of him and on a streak at that point. And I mean, really, how much more can we say about Kismet this map?
And time again, I mean, Kismet was just behind Fantastic Four again and again. I can only imagine how annoying that is to think you've cleared the site and then suddenly get shot in the back by Kismet over and over and over again. Stuck in the spawn trap looking down the barrel of Pander and GodRx. I mean, Fantastic Four morally have to be down pretty bad currently, but Fire, again, I feel like he's the only really one on the side of Fantastic Four that I'm really just like, wow, you know, he's starting to show some life, maybe try and get his team back into this. I saw maybe 1 or 2 pieces by Gintroid, but like as a whole, I mean, they just weren't all firing on all cylinders. They just all weren't playing together as a team.
Oh, for sure. We saw Built by Gamers were just able to dismantle those defensive setups time and time again. I mean, there were some moments where they were trading blows that were highlight worthy, especially when they were trying to maintain control of middle map around Catwalk. But in the end, we saw Built by Gamers were just able to close it out. Kismet strong-arming his way through most of that map to drop 30 plus. I mean, this guy with his submachine gun was just there was, if you weren't stopping him, there was no chance at winning that map. And really, he just, again, as what we saw in the Raid Search and Destroy, carried throughout that garrison control. He had a plan, carried it out to its completion, and Built by Gamers was able to see victory in the end. Ali, any takeaways from the series so far? We've seen Built by Gamers come together pretty nicely to put themselves up 2-1 in this series as we head into Apocalypse Hardpoint.
So far, I am standing true to once BBG are on a roll, they are just unstoppable as they're now up 2-1 in the series. And we're going to head into an Apocalypse Hardpoint, though. I'm a little scared of this, as every time I've cast over Apocalypse by Hardpoint with Built by Gamers on one of the sides, it didn't really go too well. And then not to mention 250 to 145 in the first Hardpoint of the series. But after the S&D and the control, I mean, I feel like they continue to go off this momentum because it continues to be a menace on the map. We could see a 3-1 here for sure. I'm wondering about your predictions, Fox. I'm a little on edge just because of the first hardpoint of the series and because of the map, but I do believe they are on enough of a push, and Fantastic Four are mentally just not there with us that they could take it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been calling for Fantastic Four to win this series since it started, but at this point, it just doesn't look like they have it in them. It seems like they're all out of steam. Built by Gamers is really starting to heat up and come together, and I think that they have the resilience to see the end of this series, resulting on Apocalypse Hardpoint. You mentioned previously that they don't have great experience on this map. I think that can be because of how new it is and how often how it's not that often that you get to experience this map in a competitive setting. So we'll have to see how it unfolds. In the initial moments, we see Fantastic Four able to get some hill time on the board.
An interesting opening as we watch Kismet kill himself with his own nade, now starting at 0-2 as time going on the side of Fantastic Four. I feel like the win conditions here are hardcore for Built by Gamers is going to be, getting those early rotations and stop committing to such minimal scrap time as we hit on board with Slack, as he finds 2 and time still going inside of Fantastic Four. Built by Gamers yet to contest any of it and still have to work on that rotation.
Yeah, Fantastic Four, 35 seconds in the main road hardpoint. That is a hot start. I mean, we see an attempt at starting the rotation from the side of Built by Gamers as they pour through the bottom of the map, but P2 is a ways away, and Fantastic Four already set up for that one too. So this 47-second lead could look to extend even further as Fantastic Four put themselves in a position for success, and Built by Gamers are still fighting with their backs against the wall.
Already a lot of work to be done on the side of Built by Gamers. Kismet, who was just unstoppable in the earlier of the series, is sitting at 1-5, Pentagram 1-3. They have to get a good wipe here and get one good hold if we want to see them already get back in this game, as we slowly might see it happen now as there's 40 seconds left. Nobody really getting hill time, but Spawn is technically in favor of BBG, but Pandra, he already needs to start worrying about rotation as the clock is dwindling down.
Oh, and they line right up for God RX. Kismet the same, 2 double kills, clears out the hard point, and puts Built by Gamer in a position to hold down some objective time. As they finally get points on the board, they look to try and close this gap. The 60-second deficit that Fantastic Four has set up for them to deal with. Kismet has been the difference maker in this series so far, and is also the person taking point in the objective.
Fire just not letting anybody near the hill. I mean, Slack is 6-2. Fire is 5-3. Methods 5-4. I mean, they are early on rotation every single time. And not only that, they are winning those early kills, are allowing them to get so much time off of the initial.
P3, initial time goes to Fantastic Four, much of like what we saw at P1. However, the first break attempt is successful. Built by Gamers is able to come through deathless in this attempt. And now it's going to be up to Fantastic Four as they spawn back towards P5. And that little shack over there, you can see how difficult it is to fight the players on the hard point. You got to cross paths with God RX, who tags up 2 players and does not finish 1. But that should be enough damage for players like Kismet to finish the job. Double kill looking for the triple. He cannot connect as Slack gets the better of him. And the last 2 players push in with another team shot. Excellent coordination coming from Fantastic Four as they start to sort of lighten the defenses of Built by Gamers. But that war of attrition is being won by the guys in pink. They're starting to close the gap. Only 10 seconds separate these 2 teams, and they should be able to knot it up here just about as we get into P4.
Kisman knew where he was, but he was just a little too weak and ended up getting taken down there. But the time did go to the side of BBG, so they are right back into this game. They are only down 10 points, but once again, they're trying to force their way through the back, taking the long route when they could have just cut through mid and fought two players from Fantastic Four on the front, and now they're suffering once again because they all rotated through old scrap time, and the dedication to try and get spawns is just not working out for them.
Methods with 6 straight on the hard point. He's going to be the first on his team to break 10 kills. Got the Krieg in hand. He's going to be met with 2 at the very least turning this corner with the support of Fire. Expect to see a little bit of success. But Built by Gamers look to set up for this flank and be much more disruptive than expected. Fire takes point. Connecting with some shots, they're able to find the kill they need to keep this hard point controlled. They're up by about 50 seconds and should be awarded the scrap time as the rotation is needed. We're headed to P5. And Built by Gamers, they got the spawn closest to it. Let's see what happens.
So much commitment to the old spawns and so little reward on the side of BBG. Not only that, they are incredibly spread out. 8 and 4, Slacked and Panda. It's going to be 1v1 on the hard point. They end up trading out as Pentagram finds one, but no time going through either. And finally, BBG got a solid hold on the objective as all of Fantastic Four starts to spawn out across the map.
Yeah, and on P5, you see how long that journey is. They have to go all the way from Courtyard through the top section of the map through P4 to come all the way around just to get mowed down and have to do it all over again. The last remaining player is going to be Slacked in that last wave of engagements, but you see just how long he has to wait. The patience apparently way too much of it, way too demanding for him. He pops out, dies alone. And this next attempt will be met with just 2 players of Fantastic Four into the hard point. You should expect to see all of that time given over to Built by Gamers as they again start to close that deficit. Moving back towards P1, triple kill from Methods opens things up and should be beautiful. A beautiful opportunity for them to get set up for it.
Built by Gamers waited till 20 seconds to start committing to rotation, and then by that point, Methods has slipped his way by onto Old while the rest of his teammates are set up at New and finds himself 3 on Built by Gamers. So again, Fantastic Four, they are making that deficit bigger and bigger each hill and rotation that Built by Gamers do not get onto. But finally, some of them fall. Gentroid, though, looking to make a mess of BG in mid on this P1 as once again, they have yet to touch the hill.
Yep, not a foot set in it for the objective so far. They can't seem to get it happening here. Can't seem to make it work. Methods and Fire open up with some kills. They get some hill time hopping right on the objective after that advantage has been found. And we just kind of see Built by Gamers limping along on this hard point, just waiting for it to rotate because it seems like it seems like Built by Gamers is going to get the scrap time. So as we rotate to Courtyard, we see that Fantastic Four has spawns closer to it. It doesn't look like they're holding on to them very, very well as Built by Gamers are winning these key engagements on the rotation, and it's now all up to Gentroid and Fire. Let's see what they do with this.
Screw the last 10 seconds. Built by Gamers fight for this new hill. I wish you would, as GodRx finds Super gets taken down, but finally a little back and forth scrapping hill time and contesting is going through. You were only down by 40 points. You could do it here and make the comeback. 4 players of BBG make their way in. GodRx finds 2, and now Fantastic Four are spawning all the way across the map. That's what BBG needed, and now they just have to hold here to possibly create a lead change.
Courtyard's cleared out. Built by Gamers does that, and they look like they might net themselves some ample time on the hard point. But Fantastic Four keep the pressure up. They're pouring in straight from P4. All 4 players just flooding the hard point as Built by Gamers finally get on the objective to try and knot things up here, set up for another lead change. But the rotation's looming here, Ali, and you've been mentioning how important it is for the success of Built by Gamers if they want to find success in this map to be more proactive on these rotations. Are you liking what you're seeing right now?
I was liking it until I saw Panda turn for the old site because Built by Gamers had 3 players spawning 4 new because Fantastic Four made the commitment onto scrap time and ruined the spawns for themselves. But Panda and Pentagram turned for the old gunfights, and that forced them to spawn in that bottom corner of the map. So once again, they are losing the initial to the side of Fantastic Four, and they need to start getting these trades and these earlier initials going through, else they are constantly going to be playing the game of catch-up.
GodRx and Methods break 20 kills. Fire looks to be the next one to do it as Gentroid just hits 10. We see defense mounted by Built by Gamers in the remaining 30 seconds of this hard point. There should be maybe one last attempt from the Fantastic Four players to clear it out here as the That is certainly a deficit closing amount of hill time left. Slacked is going to be the one to do it, get behind them and find one kill before being traded, but Built by Gamers quickly plug the leak, and they find the remaining hill time that they were going for. We see the rotation once again, Ali. Fantastic Four is set up for it, and they have 2 opening kills.
I'm looking at Kismet, though, waiting for his teammates. They're looking to go through the front instead of fighting for the back spawns once again. Goddard, he's going to ping his streaks and force off Fantastic Four to get off of the hill, which allows his teammates to advance up and get the kills. I love this play. Beautiful execution on the side of Built by Gamers. So this is the start that they needed. Pentagram finds 2, and now number 3, that's going to be Fire. He falls. Now all of Fantastic Four are spawning in the back corner. This is what they needed to do in the first rotation of hills. So now they can push through, they can gain the spawns and spawn Fantastic Four out, not only for this hill, but also for next. The number 4, Slack, he's looking to have something to say about that as he tries to get into the back, and streaks get called on the side of Fantastic Four. So much investment. That's 3 down. 20 seconds left on the clock, though. Built by Gamers, you can sacrifice this. You just need to win the early rotation.
Look at the lead change. This is a fight. Fantastic Four starting to pull ahead once again, but Built by Gamers, they keep swinging as they break the 200-point mark and get this scrap time. The rotation is what is oh so key, though, and Pentagram looks to hold on to that one. 2 players still downstairs. He's able to get away with his life and hop right back into the engagement as Methods kills his teammate. GodRx and Kismet cleared things out, and BBG are pulling ahead in the lead once again and forcing Fantastic Four to spawn out of the hard point. The next wave of engagements are already underway. They didn't spawn too far away, and so far they're up on top, but Fantastic Four do not have the defensive positioning. They still have the aggression. They still have the pressure that's working in their favor, but Pander is the equalizer.
Pander finding 2. I mean, Pentagram sliding out to live from the nade. And not only that, the nade took down a member of Fantastic Four. What in a series of engagements, but Fantastic Four able to break their way back into this hill. They can still be in this game. They have been doing so good in rotations. They just need to do it again. But Fantastic Four, they're starting to fall behind as you see all the members of the new map are thinking set up in for the new hill, but Fantastic Four, they're finding the kills. Fire finds 2, but the trades go out. Initial, though, is going to the side of Fantastic Four. Built by Gamers, they need one good collapse here as number 5, Kismet, tries to get through the back, but he gets shut down. Fire is hitting 2 in the hill, but he finally gets traded out. Back and forth. This is the scrappiest first so we've seen all game.
Back to the main road, and we're seeing Built by Gamers spawning up towards P4 and P5. They're able to continue pouring into the hard point, maintain control of this hill. 10 seconds separate them from victory. Score streaks are falling down from the sky, making it that much more difficult for Fantastic Four to answer back. Only 4 seconds away. Built by Gamers could close out the series here. Fantastic Four with another surge, a little bit of a resurgence here in the end, but it's not enough. And Built by Gamers close out the series against Fantastic Four 3-1.
GodRx just started putting on a clinic, and on the side of Fantastic Four, I mean, Fire and Methods were going off. They were doing all that they could, but I mean, GodRx, he just started shutting players down, and once again, his teammates started to catch up. And I think that's the first time I've really seen BBG make like a complete comeback from falling behind another team. They usually aren't able to do that. So an amazing feat out of them. They started making rotations. They started making the smart play, going through the front, rotating through new to get to the back spawns. I mean, that's really what signed them off for this win. And I mean, GodRx and Pentagram going off in the end. I mean, BBG, that was a new side of them I don't think I've seen.
Yeah, and Spaceman, you got to watch the tug of war of a lead change unfold throughout the middle to late stages of the map there. What did you think? What did you make of that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, when Kismet's popping off, the team looks good. When he's not, I look immediately at Pander and GodRx. And GodRx reminded me of watching him last year on Ramaza Hardpoint. Like, the dude has a way of being able to take over games. And once again, he showed us that this roster can, you know, they used to have this situation, like Ali's mentioned many times, where they would struggle once they were behind in games. They were never able to bring it quite back, but I'm telling you, they have turned over a new leaf. And here's a look at the schedule for today. But, you know, BBG played UT Crew last week. They lost it 3-1, but ever before that, they were on a roll. The last time they played a Fantastic Four, they took it in game 5. They won 3-2. And then, you know, they continue on to beat Triumph 3-1. They beat LAG 3-0. This roster has turned things around, and they are finding ways to shut out series 3-0s, 3-1s against very good teams. And a lot of it has come through the execution and the teamwork that you're seeing on your screen. And they show you once more why they are the better team in this matchup. And they will move on to tomorrow, which means that we will get Fantastic Four versus Los Angeles Academy. This one, Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very, very interesting matchup. LAG played Fantastic Four last week and won it in a map 5-3-2. Fantastic Four once again on the downswing, but Fox, looking at that series as a whole, BBG look like they have figured out their rhythm as a roster. Would you fair to say that they are probably one of the tougher teams going into tomorrow?
They absolutely caught the rhythm, and I think they are a force coming into tomorrow. I mean, these guys were just clicking so well, and you saw players like Kismet were playing so confidently and comfortably.
Yeah.
You could just watch the play developing in his mind and unfolding before you. Watching him crawl onto the hard point and misdirect the player on defense. Just so many nerdy kind of dorky flanks that we've seen from him throughout this series that have worked out consistently for the side of BBG.
And Ali, the thing we're seeing with this roster now is that when one player struggles, people are starting to pull their weight on the opposite end, right? Like Pentagram stepping up, Pander stepping up. It always seems like there's someone there to help manage the load. And even in that game, God or X continuing to find ways just to get chippy in the hill and just keep the team in the game, right? Sometimes you need a player on your roster to keep you involved in the actual match, and that is something they never had. That is something they struggle with consistently. Now it seems like everyone's on the same page and they're all contributing. Do you think that this is going to be the new start for this roster? Do you think going forward, if they choose to stick together, they could become one of the top 2 teams in North America?
I definitely feel like this is just like a huge like switch for them. I mean, it wasn't the BBG that I'd always see, you know, it time and time again. I mean, they stuck together as a roster and they had the same problem. It was if one player is not kind of going off and kind of creating the chain of reaction out of everybody else, they just fall behind. And once they fall behind, they weren't able to catch up. But after that series, I mean, especially that last map, I mean, it was completely different. Godorex started going off and then they started running with it. It wasn't that it was too late. It wasn't too late in the game. I mean, they came back time and time again. They started fixing the little mistakes they were making on the map. It was just a whole new BBG. And I think this is when they start leaving the middle top of the pack conversation and start being like, can they really contend against some of these higher teams? Because I mean, they have been a top team, but they haven't been really in the top team discussion. So I feel like now we're going to see them kind of being the underdogs.
Yeah, absolutely well said. I couldn't agree with you more, but that means we're going to throw it to a commercial break. And when we come back, the final match of the night for North America. Who will we see get promoted into tomorrow for the playoff bracket? It's Fantastic Four and LAG Academy coming up next after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final match of the night for North America. This will decide who goes on to the playoff bracket tomorrow. Loser gets knocked out of the tournament. Sometimes it's just how it works. Welcome into the stream. I'm Spaceman. That is Fox and Alley, and we will be taking you through the final series of tonight. Here's how the bracket worked for today, folks. Fantastic Four won in Game 5 over LAG Academy. Subliners lost to BBG, which meant they were both knocked down to the lower bracket. Fantastic Four lost to BBG just 10 minutes ago. So Built by Gamers are promoted to tomorrow's playoff bracket, which means we will be seeing the conclusion of LAG Academy versus Fantastic Four for the final match to decide who meets BBG in that playoff bracket. I would not have expected Subliners Academy to be knocked out of the tournament this early. This is just North America continues to shake everyone's minds. Fox, what happened to New York Subliners Academy? They were arguably like the best team outside of Eastern. Now they're gone.
Yeah, and you got to wonder what happens to them when you got players all within like the top 3 overall KDs from game mode to game mode. I mean, they have a huge arsenal on their side, and still we don't find them as we get close to the conclusion of our tournament here.
Allie, we come into the final match of the night. We're looking at Fantastic Four, LAG, a team that I was super critical of for a while. I said, LAG, they're never going to make it to Elite Series. If they make it, they won't do that well. Chino gets called up. I got to shut my mouth because now they're in a chance to possibly be moved into tomorrow. Do you think it's possible? Do you think they're going to be able to pull it off and completely stun the crowd?
And the thing about this matchup that we got coming off is it was one of the first matches of the day. Fantastic Four ended up beating LAG in a 3-2 fashion into Game 5. And what it was, LAG got the first S&D, but they allowed Fantastic Four to capitalize on the Game 5 S&D. So I feel like LAG has the momentum, has the means to get a series on top of Fantastic Four, but they have to win both of the search and destroys to be able to do it, because I feel like their respawn just isn't that strong. It's just not there yet, not on par with Fantastic Four. So if they want any luck, they're gonna have to take both the S&Ds in this series. And also, I would just like to touch on the New York Subliners Academy. It's because they dropped Gold Frosty. I'm just gonna say it. Ever since then, it has been downhill, and I will put that on my grave.
That's totally fine. Listen, we can go back and forth all day about the roster changes that have happened in North America. A lot of them have not worked out. Many of them have. And we look at one specifically, right? You look at this Fantastic Four lineup that used to be in the start of Season 3. You had Dab Patty, Decimate, Slack, and Methods, right? Everyone's talking about, okay, this might be a legit roster. Then Gentroid comes in place of Dab Patty because Dab Patty basically says, I'm going to step down for a while. And Fire gets released from his CDL contract. Now he's on this roster. So you have 3 former CDL players on one team going up against Fantastic Four, who their biggest star, Chino, gets called up. And now you basically look at the only IGL on the roster might be Mental, who, by the way, is a Gears of War player. This is their first real year in Call of Duty. So far, it's been a successful one. But man, the amount of different rosters and changes that have happened in North America. Fox, I don't think any of us expected these rosters and the combinations and ways they've gotten here to get here in this fashion.
Yeah, I certainly would not have expected the newcomer to the Call of Duty Pro scene, Mental, being put in a leadership position. I mean, if there's one way to really be put to the fire and see what you're made of, this is one way to do it. You have to be kind of shaken. You have to be a little intimidated to see so many of your players kind of picked apart from your roster, especially when you have such a tough matchup ahead of you.
And Allie, you even look back to last week where LAG Academy won against Fantastic Four. They won in Game 5. Then we come into this week today, and Fantastic Four get one right back. Are we going to see that trend continue going into the series? What are you picking as we start this one off?
It's funny because they took such a short amount of time to create a little bit of a rivalry between them, because it keeps going back and forth in the same fashion. So it definitely makes the match that we're about to get into that much more exciting, because it's just a small little storyline that they've created for themselves.
Oh, I'm so excited to get into the final series of tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match will be deciding who goes to the playoff bracket tomorrow. You got Methods, Slack, Gentroid, and Fire on Fantastic Four on the opposite end. Here comes Mox, the replacement for Chino. Mental, the greatest Gears of War player who's ever lived. Can he be the necessary IGL and create an upset of the ages to send his team to the playoff bracket?
Already some serious back and forth happening in the first hardpoint as Fantastic Four ends up on top as they start getting the initial timer of this Garrison hardpoint, and LAG, they're looking to slide their way into it, but Mental, you need to actually aim at the player if you want to take him down. 20 seconds now on the side of Fantastic Four as Fire is already starting off hot at side and two.
And we want to talk about the AR battle going down on this map. You're going to have to be looking at Fire versus Exceed. So far off the rip, Fire is leaving nothing to be imagined. 6-2 off the rip. I mean, having a great start to this hardpoint, 26 points in counting. So now that we rotate off P1, we will be looking at Top Gun for the next set of hills. And, well, Fantastic Four are just trying to buy their time through the middle of the map, pick up as much kills as possible. The necessary ones at that in the bottom floor will be controlled by LAG Academy. But on to P2 we go, and Fantastic Four are doing a great job of getting set up early.
Mock sitting in the back to hopefully get spawns for his teammates, but unfortunately the presence just wasn't there, so Fantastic Four continued to spawn in the back, but then he moves up. He doesn't get caught out by Gentroid, and he goes through bricks with his teammates that ends up flipping out all of Fantastic Four, so now they have to try and fight their way through the front. This is great time going on side of LAG. Mox is 7-1 on a 5 streak, not what I expected out of him, as he is being to carry his team.
You know, I don't think Mox gets enough credit the way he's been able to fit into this roster. Last-minute decision, of course, the decision to pull up Chino into the main roster in the CDL was a big one, and Chino, who has been working so hard to get back into that situation, but Mox has a hard role to fill, so far doing it. 8-1 on a 6 spree, Mental at 2-5. Relatively slow start to this game 1, but on rotation we go, and we look at LAG Academy looking for a clean break through the front. You're going to have 4 members ready to push, but so far the cuts are there, and Fantastic Four doing a good job of not only holding down the spawns for new, but also making sure the gunfights on the outside of the hill are kept relatively at ease, as Mox is able to work his way in, has streaks as well, and here comes the break potentially as streaks get invested. What will he find? It looks like nothing off the start.
Mox trying to be one-man army as he has a sub in hand, takes down one player inside of Fantastic Four, and then calls the streaks in, but that investment unfortunately goes to waste as none of his teammates were able to break through the front line, and the streaks wasn't able to connect onto anyone. So a lead furthering in the side of Fantastic Four, but what LAG can do here is they can force their way through the front and mid and spawn trap Fantastic Four, but unfortunately they were unable to do that as they started to get taken down. But 16 seconds left. If they can hold mid here, they can force Fantastic Four to get stuck in this back of ult.
It looks like the break might wither away a little bit, but Fantastic Four, again, doing a fantastic job of holding on to that P3. Now we rotate down to the floor for a 4th hill. Fire going to try to stay alive, successfully winning the gunfight, and Mental will trade things out in the kill feed, but a lead continues for Fantastic Four, and Slack, again, able to find Nero, cut down and catwalk, so pressure here, and winning these gunfights is crucial, as the boys in blue are mounting the comeback at mid-map. It was there for LAG on the early break, but the hill has popped, and no one's been able to find some early time. The hold through top green will remain for the boys in purple, but here comes Mox inside of maps. Will he be able to find anything? Well, it comes down to Slack's gunfight on the bottom. No contest for the moment. There goes Slack. He gets cut down. That's 3 purple in the kill feed. LAG have the break.
Again, Mox is just a one-man army, 15-3. His teammates are 6-10. Mental, Nero, respectively, and Exceed is 5-11, and yet they are trying to hang on to this hard point as Fantastic Four are about to break the 100-score mark as Slack and Gentroid find 3.
And usually this hill is pretty contested, and well, at 8 essentially has been that Mental sidearm in hand. He knows what it's like to be able to whip out the extra secondary. The guy comes over from Heroes of War and understands that the Nasher is just as important as the Lancer. So far, ripping and shredding his way through 10-10 on a 5 spree. Mox still the last one alive in the hill, but we've rotated to P5 on the opposite end of the floor. And guess what? LAG are set up inside, ready and waiting and cozy without being contested, as Fantastic Four have struggled to find those opening engagements. Now the close spawns are in the back, and it's up to Gentroid and Slack to work through those progressions, but all 4 in the kill feed. It's purple for LAG, and it's a complete, solid, clean hold with that. Mox with a multi-kill, and Mox with 30 seconds to go in this hill, and what a great response it has been from LAG.
Mental trying to help Mox as he's 19-4 with a minute in hill time, just sitting down, mowing down all the players from Fantastic Four out of spawn as they finally make their way in. Gentroid finds 2, but unfortunately it's only in the investment of about 12 seconds. So now you see all the purple on your mini-map. That's going to be LAG already onto the next rotation, and they know Fantastic Four is stuck at the old spawn. They need to start making a long rotation into green and try to get that control so that they don't get stuck here and break.
And Allie, you're not only thinking about P1 currently, but you're thinking about P2 as well, and that is where Slack can be dangerous. If he's able to get some positioning in top green, you can funnel your AR through, and that's where Methods and Gentroid can work together. There's the trade, but so far, LAG again have been able to win these rotational battles. Just easy trades to go in their favor, though Fire responds with Methods in hand. AR starting to light up at long range, and that's Methods for 3. No, he gets cut down in the process, but the damage might be done as numbers are here to funnel on through. Slack will fall quickly. 124 to 111 and contests continue, but time and possession here for Gintroid and Fantastic Four. Now we look at Radar, who will be set up inside top green. It looks like Fantastic Four recognize the situation they're in, and if they get a full 60 onto Radar, well, they could blow this game wide open, and it looks like they're going to set up early.
Mox finding 3 again on the rotation, just opening up the entire mid lane for his teammates to push through the back to maybe get some spawn control here for the next hill, but all of Fantastic Four are sitting and waiting. Fire's the last one you want to have to try and go against. He can't connect any shots, but the trades do come through as 2 players now spawn in the back of the new hill, and Fantastic Four has to make the turn and hold from the front.
And Mental's able to stay alive thanks to Nero in the back. Fire with 2, they'll combine for a couple, but the trades are here for LAG, and Gintroid can't stay alive for long. However, another break continues. These boys in purple, I'm telling you, every single time it looks like Fantastic Four have a solid hold. All of a sudden, LAG Academy comes through and able to rip off a couple off a Heady, take away the power positions, and Fantastic Four have to fight wall-to-wall gunfights. They just don't work. They're getting traded out. Team trades are there. Mox is able to take down Nero, so a team kill short. Net 0 on that play, but he's winning every big individual gunfight. 24 and 10. It's 150 to 137. Highly contested so far in this game 1, but it seems like LAG Academy are on the brink of pulling this game away. Now we go to our rotation. We'll go to P3, and Mox is the X factor here. If his AR can light up the kill feed and cut down Fantastic Four, they could get a full 60 on this hill.
Fantastic Four committed so much that old scrap time, so did LAG, but LAG already had sponsors. They didn't have to worry about it as they sat backwards and just waited for all of Fantastic Four to push through. And Mox, I mean, he's just pre-firing, mowing down 2 players from Fantastic Four. That's 3 all the trades go out. LAG still end up on top with the spawns, but time not really going either side just yet. It finally lights up purple and Fantastic Four. They have so much work to get through this front line of LAG.
We saw XD pull up the AK-74U. I'm wondering, was that a decision to change from the AR in hand? Maybe Mox is just doing enough work for everyone as Nero's able to pick up a couple of kills, lights up the kill feed, and they've been able to lock down 40 or so seconds on this hill. Again, rotation will be crucial, but who's going to be there to win the floor battle? You get stuck, that's a nice nade. LAG Academy have numbers at mid-map. It's Exceed on the top catwalk, and it looks like the decision from Exceed will be to sit on the sub roll. I like this idea. He's 20 and 23. Mox is almost at 30 kills and 12 deaths on the opposite end. I mean, Fire is almost dead even. The battle for the AR is being won by LAG. Mental letting a couple of shots ring out and, well, can't find that follow-up kill, but the damage is done and the time is there and the setup is good enough. LAG in a position to continue this lead, but here comes a break from Fantastic Four.
Slack sitting at 14 and 22 as he is just getting shut down time and time again and just can't seem to find his footing as the rest of LAG are all starting to heat up across the board as what was the mock show is slowly becoming all of LAG as well. But as soon as I say that, your kill feed starts to light up blue as Fantastic Four trying to crawl the way back into hopefully a lead change here on this last 20 seconds of scrap time. But again, they have to start worrying about rotation, which they are usually so good at.
And you just look at a Fantastic Four across the board. Are we winning the gunfights? No. So what do? You try to outmaneuver and out-rotate your opponents. We're waiting for that facet of the game to kind of rear its ugly head and LAG having to respond to it. So far, it's just not happening. Finally, a tie game for the first time in what seems like 5 minutes of this hard point. We will continue on to our 3rd set of hills after this one. And 190 and counting. Finally, Fantastic Four have the lead. Gintroid on the floor. Can't stay alive for long. Numbers are there. Its back spawns out. And Methods has some work to do. Mental wins the gunfight. And Slack's going to have to work through the bottom to make sure he stays alive long enough for Numbers to come in and help him out.
It was Mox once again, all the way in the deep back of Fantastic Four, which caught Method's attention, who had to turn and answer him, which allowed all of LAG to kind of just push through the front line of Fantastic Four and allowed this time to not really go to either side. So, I mean, 5-point deficit on the side of Fantastic Four, but 20 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to start worrying about rotation as number 8, Nero's going to try and get his wing into bricks as he finds one, possibly finding 2 on the side of Fantastic Four, finally shut down. But again, 14 seconds left. Rotation looking like it's going to go on the side of LAG.
You look at LAG Academy, Sans Mox. The kills have slowed down incredibly. It's gotten very quiet in the kill feed, and that means that the boys in blue are starting to figure things out. Gintroid has 2 in the back pocket. Mental able to take down 1 in lights. Methods gets cut, but he should be able to spawn up with the rest of his team. It looks like he will. Now comes down to floor pressure. We go back to P1. You need to start contesting for LAG. Worst case scenario you have is that you allow Fantastic Four to win on this hill or to win on P2. You've lost the rotation for the past 2 hills. Now you need to contest and make sure you string some kills together to get some positive time. Bring this game back. This contest will work, but where are the numbers? Well, Mox is at mid-map. Mox is able to find 2. There are the trades. There are the trades, and there's Jintroid for 2 again. Jintroid gonna get shut down, and Near will fall quickly right after him, but with 24 seconds to fight over, we need to look at radar, but you also need to make sure you're contesting, because if Fantastic Four get these final 20 seconds, Allie, it's gonna be 240 to 191. You cannot give up this much time.
And not only that, even if they do win this second rotation, they have to worry about going all the way across map to keep Fantastic Four from winning with 10 seconds left on the clock. And I mean, Fantastic Four are looking to do it here. Exceed left by himself. Finally, the cleanup comes through, but again, they're going to have to worry about pushing across the map once again as all of the purple cavalry is on the map. And as the first few gunfights start going down, Fantastic Four just need one good push to take away this game.
It all it takes is one, but you better make sure you have top green controls. One slides out there, the trades, 44 seconds to go. Who's in the hill? It's going to be Fantastic Four. Mental able to find one. Does he have the willpower? No, he doesn't. There goes Fire with the slide and the beat down. 240 to 205. They just need 10 more seconds, and they're going to take game 1. Here comes the cavalry from the front. 3 will funnel in, but all will drop. Mox stands no chance. Fire going to slide out. A break is in. 25 seconds. Methods with a 2-piece. A clutch 2-piece at that, and they can win it on this hill. They just need to contest, but LAG need to send numbers now. Right over the top, Jintroid takes him down. It's top green control. Slack last alive. We're going to be seeing another hill. Who's going to win it? But guess what? Fantastic Four are set up for P3.
There's 4 seconds on the clock. Spaceman Mental is the only player close enough. He has to get this kill onto Jintroid, which he does, but he has to stay alive for the rest of his teammates. And he's not going to be able to as number 7. That's going to be Mox, unfortunately, gets taken down. And Fantastic Four come back and crawl their way into a 250 to 215 win.
You know, it was flawless hardpoint and really great execution for about 4/5 of that game. When it came down to the end game, though, when it came down to closing out the hills and winning rotations and winning gunfights, Fantastic Four continued to stay involved in the kill feed, found kills they could chain together, and LAG really slowed down when it came to slaying out Fantastic Four. That was the one thing that was keeping them ahead in the game, was consistently slaying out. You had Mox contributing, Exceed moves to the sub. Right after that, on the second set of rotations, P4 and P5, they lost the ground control. Fantastic Four moved in. Jintroid played his life on the hill. And right after that, Allie, it was a completely different game. Fantastic Four took over, and they didn't relinquish the hold and the chokehold they had at mid-map for the rest of the game.
You look on the side of LAG, and they had Mox just off the bat, just shutting down Fantastic Four time and time again. And Fantastic Four couldn't answer to that right away. But as the game slowly went forward, I mean, sure, some of the players of LAG started to wake up just a little bit. But I mean, you had Jintroid and Fire just start going off and answering and matching Mox in numbers. And they just started outslaying at that point. There was not much you could do. And, you know, you're putting so much weight on Mox's shoulders to continuously get 2 pieces, continuously get 3 pieces. I mean, you're just not going to have consistency to win with that, and Fantastic Four really punished them after Jintroid and Fire really woke up and started doing the same exact thing back to them.
And there's a reason we say it's the battle of the ARs, because that will dictate the flow of the game. Off the start, Fire was lighting up the kill feed. He started, what, like 6-2? And he was keeping Fantastic Four in the lead. Then Mox turns up the jets and just burns everyone for 4/5 of the game. But near the end, Methods with a couple of clutch 2 pieces and able to clear out lights. Then you look at Fantastic Four and the ability just to stay involved in the kill feed. Fire contributing, everyone doing their job, and reading through the progressions as a team. The communication was high, and they understood the situation they were in. Rotate out of green, get to the very back of caution, make sure we lock down P3. They played their job appropriately, and they all did it well, and they were able to walk away with a game 1 win. So again, this is kind of the learning curve you're going to have to move through if you're LAG. It's a young roster. Yes, there's been many roster changes, but you have to understand that these players are incredibly intelligent. They know every situation that's ever existed in Call of Duty, and in situations like that where you're contesting for the last couple of seconds, you have to make sure you rotate, because they're going to give up those 10 or so seconds and rotate themselves to lock down the final game's crescendo. And if you don't meet them on the hill, if you can't get Mental in a position to win 2 kills to keep you alive, you need to make sure you do a better job on rotation to make sure that final break doesn't happen. But, you know, that was about as close as a game 1 as you could expect. And these teams are used to going to game 5s, Allie. Do we think it's going to be any different in this series?
I don't think it's going to be any different at all, especially LAG is such an S&D heavy team. That's kind of where they lay all their rocks. That's where they kind of expect themselves to shine up. So the hardpoint kind of went as expected. Fantastic Four. I mean, they are just all around a pretty good respawn team. They started playing together as a team and really shutting LAG down. There's only so much one player in Mox that he could do when the rest of his teammates were falling behind. But going into the S&D, again, I feel like it's such a toss-up. Unless, you know, Jintroid and Fire just continue to fire on all cylinders. I mean, they're going to have to worry about shutting down Exceed and Nero going into this S&D. So they're going to have to kind of forget about Mox for a second. They're going to have to worry about those two kind of turning on the gears, because even though their showing in the hardpoint wasn't that much to speak about, their showings in the S&D tell a completely different story.
Yeah, you go to Moscow, and of course, you know, we couldn't have Express. Can't be too nice to me, I guess. We just got Moscow for game 2. That's fine. But the biggest thing, again, Moscow was the #1 map for First Bloods. You get it here more, and it usually sways the round more than any other map. If they can continue and by they, of course, I'm referring to Fantastic Four. If they can continue to isolate Mox and keep him out of the play, I mean, you just play standard S&D strats, you might have an easy time here. But we know LAG's consistency in these S&Ds, but I expect there to be some counter strats coming out of Methods and Slacked and crew, because you expect them to want to take the 2-0 series lead. Obviously, it would make it easier going into checkmate, where you're basically relying on your ARs to set up for subs inside the wing of the plane. But for now, we look at this LAG Academy roster, and again, it was a strong showing in game 1, but the one thing that they were just struggling with was, obviously, Mental had a little bit of a slow game, and when he was starting to heat up, obviously it changed things, but they just weren't able to rely on anyone else except Mox. They needed a little bit more. Exceed started off hot, but when he switched to the sub, things died down, and they weren't able to get that same production out of everyone like you expected with Mental with the sub to be able to give you when it came to breaking the hills. So, Ali, going into this game too, I just want to know your predictions. Who you got taking it?
I am leaning a little. I was gonna say Fantastic Four, but I'm just thinking about Exceed and Nero, and I'm just my brain's telling me something different there, just because of those two as a duo. And obviously Mox, I mean, that hard point was just disgusting out of him. But I think it's really gonna come down to those elevator trades. I think we're gonna see a very, very aggressive S&D. I doubt it's gonna be very slow and methodical. And Mox is definitely gonna be the player that's gonna be playing very deep and back, probably looking at the flank, looking at the long streets. So looking at the side of both these teams, I think it's gonna come down a lot to like Fire and Jintroid, and on the side of Exceed and Nero just kind of going at it. We're gonna see Methods and Slack try to get up in there, but again, Slack didn't have that much of a showing in the hard point, so I'm not expecting too much out of him in the S&D.
Yeah, this map can be punishing in S&D. I mean, you talk about both defenses and offenses usually having a similar stance when it comes to being able to find first blood and then win those rounds. This map for S&D is a dangerous map mode combo. It can be punishing if you don't watch your lanes appropriately. Shout out Optic Gaming. Shout out Minnesota Rocker. We know the pain. But let's get into game 2. Let's see what the boys at LAG Academy can pull off. Can they bring this series back 1-1, or Fantastic Four go up 2-0?
2-2 split on the A side here on the side of Fantastic Four as Nero gets some information and tagged up, and nobody falls just yet as Bomb is kind of by itself in the middle here on Nero. But number 3, it's going to be Exceed. He's going to try and catch Jintroid in the back, and he does. At the same time, Mox finds one on A side, so now they can kind of push up and create this collapse into the elevators, but Slax is ready and waiting. He finds one. He sticks Exceed for the 2, but the LAG cavalry is there, and just like that, back and forth, LAG come out on top.
You don't blame Slack for cleaning up that kill, even with the stick. And I was thinking, oh, try to get away, but Mental with the flank through the back. A little gear strat for you. One of the best players when it comes to working behind the enemy lines. And he'll nash you all day long. He picks up 2 kills in the best play of the round. Mental, 2-0. Mox, 1 kill. On the opposite end, you got Slack 2, and that's about it. Everyone else still trying to fight for their first. Who will be your bomb carrier for Fantastic Four? It looks like it will be Slacked. Nothing too uncharacteristic, so we might be looking at an A call as Methods goes for a scout. But how do Mental and Nero and Mox play this? Guns are out, won't connect with anything. First blood yet to drop.
Methods looking maybe to bait the A play. I don't like this too much, because once you start playing a slow B, you get punished for it, as we see all the LAG start to kind of back up and rotate for that side. And it's definitely going to be a first blood game here, as neither are really making their way towards mid, as Bomb is kind of caught out near elevator side as it finally makes its way inner, and they're going to have to answer to number 1 and 2. It's Mental and Nero.
Nades fly out, Slack in a very dangerous spot. Mental working alongside Mox. They have A locked down, and Methods playing a very dangerous island position. I mean, you talk about being as far up pushed as you could possibly be. This bomb moves its way up to B, and it will go down momentarily. Gunfight ensues in the back. It's Exceed throwing shots down on Fire. He'll win the gunfight. But now you have to collapse numbers in quickly because the rotation will be there. Working through the back, it is Methods. Will they catch him on the off timing? So far, Exceed's winning the gunfight. Numbers are here for LAG.
I said it would be Exceed and Nero, but Mental is starting 3-0. He is a hot streak. Exceed is 4-1, and all the players on Fantastic Four now fall. And like I said, when you do that slow B push, it can just be so punishing and never usually works out in the end as LAG now go up 2-0. Nero sitting at 0-1, not that he needs to do much as the rest of his teammates are kind of doing the work for him.
Yeah, when Menzel got announced for this roster, it was like almost like what, a year ago, when he said he was going to be coming over to Call of Duty and trying his hand. I think that a lot of the community was wondering, okay, it's not the S&D that we're wondering about, because we understand his play style in Gears of War. He was very good at utilizing his life to the fullest, getting in good positions to help the rest of his team and picking up crucial kills. He's the greatest player of all time. But the biggest question in a lot of people's minds was his respawn. How is he going to be able to fare when it comes to that quick decision in a 5-minute game that doesn't stop? And when you have to be able to pick up 3-4 kills in a row to break a hill. So far, he's been very impressive in both, but his S&D is where it really stands out for me. Starting off at 3-0, 4-1 for Exceed. We might be seeing a class change here for a moment as LAG are hesitant to move that bomb up. Finally, we will go. Maybe he was trying to catch for an off timing, but Slacked is right inside bank. Mock's entirely too weak for a challenge, and they're working right up Eskies on an aggressive push.
He trying to shave off Methods a couple years of his life as he gets a couple shots in and ends up taking down one, and he finds the second one with the aggressive chow on the outer, but two fall on the side of LAG. But Fantastic Four, they're across the map, so Bomb should get laid here. Slack probably won't get the timing, but a little bit of a collapse on both sides. As number 6, that's going to be Fire on the other side, just slowly making his way up. Bomb actually doesn't get planted, as maybe it's going to go down now, but I mean, if Slack decides to be aggressive here, he could catch one of them off guard.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Slack's timing. Here he goes. Oh, got to hit your shots, brother. Come on, Josiah. Fire's able to pick up the kill. He'll pick up both. And luckily, you have faith in your teammate to find 2 kills. And when I think that Fire might be working towards streaks, maybe he will. No, we're just going to let things wind down. And he will get the defuse. So Fantastic Four will get their first round here on the board. And a good pinch from Fire and Slack working together.
Good play out of LAG, but I mean, Fire just kind of punished them there in the end, even though they were kind of expected to get it going. As we're going to watch one more time, Fire gets the 2 pieces. We didn't get to see it from his point of view. There goes one. He snaps onto Mental. Jesus. And Slack's, of course, waiting at the bomb site, just like, all right, I'll wait for you to come defuse it as well, you know, give you the whole 3. And now Fantastic Four finally on the board, 2-1. Slack sitting at 3-2. Teammates across the board, 1-3. Those Methods and Jintroid are looking to heat up. Fire even across the board on a 2 streak, as he was apparently 0-2 to start.
What will be the call? 4-man hit right through bank. We go straight up P1. Exceed. Shots ring out. He won't escape. Yes, he will. Bomb moving very aggressively up into B. Trophies are down. You have to know numbers might be here. Another nade flies out. Slacked is very, very weak. With a minute to go in this round, it's a split setup for LAG. They're willing to give up resources onto B as long as they have numbers around a trade. Jintroid's working up top Eskies, and he might get perfect timing onto 1.
He's looking to slide out here as he knows he's got to be somewhere in one of these corners as he aggressively pushes up. And the player Nero just kind of barely misses him. And as he turns, he might catch the toe onto Slacked, but he's too late. The timing just didn't work in his favor. So now he's kind of caught out on an island by himself here as he waits for the rest of his teammates to rotate.
Fire working on Mental, picks up the kill. 3v3, 3v2. Exceed will take down Methods. Now 1 alive. It is Fire. Playing time. Here comes the defuse from Nero. He's going to take Exceed. He's going to try to find anything. I think he waited for Nero to stay on the bomb, but Nero smartly hops off the defuse, completely bamboozles Fire, gets the kill, gets the defuse, and that is a heads-up play.
Nero just straight Houdini'd him. I surely expected him to slide, and he was still there, but he was just gone. He vanished in thin air, and just like that, LAG flip it back into their favor.
That is one of those editor dreams where you just put in the we will be back in a moment sound effects, because that man was looking everywhere but the right direction. Nero hops off. In one of those rare times where hopping off the bomb and waiting for the challenge actually works out. LAG in a commanding lead currently in this S&D. Will they go up 4-1? Will we see a 3-2? Rather be down 3-2 than 4-1, certainly for Fantastic Four. Would love a Reed Richards type moment currently from Methods, but the chef is 1-4, not having the greatest game. As Exceed hops out the window.
Gentroid with a huge first blood on Exceed with bomb, so that leaves that kind of out in the no man's land as Mental has to go and pick it up, but Exceed answers with 2 of his own. Never mind, I will take the 3v2, take the bomb over to the B site as both players from Fantastic Four are caught out into mid on the rotation from A. Bomb might not even looking to go down as they know that Fantastic Four players are very close. Slack has to get perfect timing here as Methods ends up finding one. Slack slides in now. He can get both players coming back. He finds one. He plays his life. The other one goes to a challenge and the trades go through. Fantastic Four going now. Putting another on the board is 3-2.
Looked a little bit sloppy from Slack, but it still does just enough. You got Methods in the back. I was worried. I'm like, oh, he's got both kills. No, never mind. He's got one. He might get traded. Doesn't matter. Exceed opens up the round with 2 kills, but the response is there. Methods and Slack working together. The duality they have. It's been paying dividends so far. They bring a round back. Methods gets 2 in the round. Exceed carrying the load for LAG Academy at the moment. Continue on. We will into game 2. Bomb carrier will be Slack. Let's see what they do.
Like I said, Mox falling a little bit behind as he is 2 and 3. Again, that's just because he's kind of stuck in the back line in these long lanes where Fantastic Fours are always going to be close and up in your face. And once again, Exceed is stuck out in B by himself. He makes out with his live fire. You have to punish that. Thankfully, Methods gets him out of the street. That's 2 down for the side of LAG. Free bomb plant in the B side. It should be for Fantastic Four as it is now a 3v2. Both players, LAG, kind of caught out on the side here. It's Mental and Nero, though, both on the board. And they're going to try and look to make their side in to go in. The trees go out their side. You have to take them down. Nero Mental find 2 fires by himself, but he answers with 2 of his own. What was very scary for a moment there. That should have been an easy trade out. Fantastic Four would come out on top thanks to Fire's 2-piece, which I feel like happens a lot.
Yeah, there have been a couple of scary gunfights in this S&D, but there's also been many double kills. We've seen Fire with 2. We've seen Exceed with 2. Players quickly dropping in and around the site. More importantly, the first bloods have been there. When LAG gets it, they get them in pairs. For Fantastic Four, it's been hard-fought gunfights, but nonetheless, they're making it work. They bring 2 back in a row. Currently tied 3-3. We go to round 7. Bomb carrier will be Nero. 3-4. Mox, same situation. And if Mox is able to open up Main Street, I mean, it might not do much just by positioning, but it will allow you to possibly collapse in with numbers through the middle and get control of Bank. Everyone dropping 4v2. I mean, this collapse in on the site has been almost perfect from LAG.
LAG quickly answer with a round of their own as they just flood into the A site. They catch Gentroid out of rotation and mid and punish him for that. And Mox finds 2 inside of the elevator. So thankfully they go up 1 more round. But again, Fantastic Four, they're not looking to give this up easily as they just got 2 rounds in a row. They're probably going to be looking to come back to tie it up once again.
Now, you know we're going to round 11. Well, you absolutely know it's going to happen, folks. It comes down to how we get there at this moment. It's been back and forth, Exceed at 10-5. On the opposite end, I mean, Gentroid's been, you know, you talk about Mox kind of just filling the back lane, so he hasn't had many engagements. I mean, Gentroid, 9 engagements, only 2 kills, right? 2-7, not having the greatest game. But the gunfights have come at precarious times for Fantastic Four, and they haven't always been that clean. 4-man hit right through Bank. Will they get caught on the cross? They might. They might get unlucky here. How does... Okay, Mox gets the call. He just knows he's waiting. This is all information for LAG. The trigger discipline is there. And now they must know bombs going down.
I don't even think that was trigger discipline. I think the angle he was holding, he couldn't even catch their heads crossing because knowing Mox, he should have been able to at least pick off 1 or 2 on the cross, but thankfully he finally gets a first blood before as bomb goes down. And LAG, I mean, they're looking to just collapse onto this. Gentroid caught out of position again. You cannot let Mental get away with that. Select answers with 1 of his own, but now it's a 1v3. Bomb is down, but there's only so much you can do as 3 players of LAG are staring at the door you're about to enter from.
Oh, man, Mental threw the nade just before he died. Little Halo flashback, and that was able to pick up 1 from the grave. 5-3. Mental takes down 2 in the round. And LAG Academy. Precise. As they go up to match point. If they win this, we tie up series 1-1. We go to the control, all dead even. Nice toes, Mental. and we'll get into the game. There's something you don't hear every day. Gintroid's still 2-8.
Something I don't ever want to hear again. Fire trying to catch up to Exceed as he's sitting at 7-6, but unfortunately Gintroid just hasn't been able to get on his feet yet in this series, as I feel like round and round again he is just caught out of position at the most unluckiest of times. But Bomb making its way toward the A site very aggressively as Exceed finds one. Number 8 Gintroid left on his own, waiting for the cavalry to kind of make their way over. Trades start going through. 3v2, Bomb goes down. Fantastic 4. You are in the position, you just have to wait for the rotation out of Fire to get through the back. He can find 2 on his own, just play your life, but Gintroid gets shut down. Now Fire left to do the impossible. LAG take the S&D in a 6-3 fashion.
There was a few moments where they had in these rounds where they would leave methods out on an island for information, but the bull rush was there from LAG Academy. They weren't allowing him to get that much info, and they would just rush up onto the site and get the kill. So multiple chances, right, where you're giving away first blood. You're constantly playing a man down on these rounds. LAG Academy wastes no time, no expense. Moving through this S&D, they win it 6-3. And, there wasn't really much from Fantastic Four that they kind of executed. It was more of responsive rounds and being able to catch LAG overextending, catch them in off angles, off timings, win those gunfights and trades respectively. But there was never moments on offense where we're looking at Fantastic Four and saying, okay, they orchestrated their bomb rush effectively. They were able to move through the map and they executed their game plan. They were reading through their progressions. It was very much an LAG Academy game.
I completely agree. And again, like I said, Fire, I mean, he tried to answer Exceed. He tried to kind of step up and be that S&D star for his team. But, I mean, Gintroid, he was just falling much too far behind. And him getting caught out of position and being first blood so many times, just, I feel like, really threw Fantastic Four off the rhythm. They just weren't able to kind of fall back into pace when it came to that. But LAG, it's exactly like I said, they are just a different team when it comes to S&D. It Exceed, I mean, light years different than what we just saw out of him in the hardpoint, as he was falling so behind and then coming back out to kind of carry his team and carry that momentum in the S&D. So as we watch the replays, I mean, it's just a highlight. I mean, he's 10-5 at round 6.
Yeah, and we go to Control, where you're looking at, again, the success for LAG Academy comes through Mox. It comes through Exceed. Mox had a great hardpoint. He had a slow S&D, but not by his own fault. It was just the nature of the design of the game. Victim of circumstance, as we always say. And now we go into Control, which, again, depending on how this one goes, could spell disaster for the rest of the series for either LAG or Fantastic Four. But we go to Checkmate. We understand the situation both these teams are in. Loser of this knocked out. Winner moves on to tomorrow. And we go to Checkmate, which is one of the more highly contested Control maps, where A is extremely difficult, but it's gotten a little bit easier. And the spawn trap can be brutal, a lot like with Raid Control. You think Raid is systemic? Checkmate can be brutal. If you get caught in a spawn trap, shout out to Orgless, we saw you do it earlier. This is the layout for the series. 250 to 215 win for Fantastic Four in Game 1. A 6-3 response by LAG Academy in the S&D. Tied up 1-1 in the series. We go to Checkmate for the series lead. Who will grab it? We don't know. But Raid to close out tonight in the only way we want it. But Ali, I feel like, if you're LAG Academy, you're probably in good spirits right now. So far, Mox is frying. You got Methods, who's getting a little bit more warmed up in the S&D. Exceed looks like he's ready to go on the opposite end. Nothing bad to say about Fantastic Four by any stretch, but certainly not as high-powered, I guess, of an offense as we would have expected.
Absolutely, and going to the Control, that worries me because Fantastic Four is slacking so much when it comes to Control. They haven't found their footing when it comes to that game mode yet, and should LAG, capitalize on that and kind of punish them for it, they'll go up 2-1 in the series. And we saw such a close hard point before, with Mox kind of putting the team on his back. I'm worried that should that happen again, and the rest of LAG kind of be firing on all cylinders from, the SD, from the Control, it could be looking like not a Game 5 series for Fantastic Four, and that's not what they want. So they need to stop LAG here now in this Control and in a convincing fashion if they want to have any life in the rest of this series.
Yeah, may God have mercy on anyone who runs into Methods under the plane. If Zinni starts Winnie, it's going to be a problem. We'll see if that's actually the case, as he's going to be my player to watch going into this Checkmate. Again, you talk about players like Methods, like Slacked, who have had the most reps up in the pro level, even Fire up until recently, and Checkmate is one of the maps that these teams practice religiously, constantly, time and time again. I'm interested to know what kind of strat they're going to pull out here on Checkmate. Is it going to be routine? Will we see something different? Do they get a little bit cheeky? On the opposite end, you have to play play this pretty straightforward and standard. You need to rely on the guns, obviously, from Mox, from Nero. You need Exceed to be consistent with the AR, and for Mental, it's not like it's do or die time and he needs to be able to step up and take over the game, but needs to have a consistent sub. A consistent presence with that sub will help the cause for LAG Academy. We go into checkmate control. Everyone's almost ready. Mox giving the thumbs up, and that means we will kick off this game 3 with a chance for one of these teams to go up 2-1 in the series. And that means we're going to close out the final part of tonight with Raid regardless. That makes me happy. We couldn't get Express. I'm a little depressed. It's okay. Allie, quick predictions before we get this one kicked off. Who are you taking?
I'm definitely looking at LAG just from the hot streak. I think if Mox does what he did in the hard point, we'll definitely see it going in their favor. But again, should Fire answer Mox off the start, then maybe it goes a little differently. But now I want to think, you know, if Exceed can go off the way he does in Search and Destroy, it would be a completely different team. It would be a complete turnaround for LAG. And I feel like at some point we need to see that out of him. That's the thing he needs to change and step up for, and that's the role he needs to fill. But as we hop right into it, it's going to come down to a lot of playing controls. Already 2 players of Fantastic Four are going to be met with Mental in a 1v2.
Well, the controls I've seen so far today have been brutal for either side. It has been stompings across the board. We probably won't get the same thing here, but a great start so far for Nero and crew, as they have 29 lives to give and 26 on the opposite end. But we continue on in the early starts of this control. If you're just joining us, welcome to the final match of North America for tonight. Winner of this moves on to the playoff bracket tomorrow for their chance to be crowned Season 3 Elite Series champions. Loser, well, sorry, we bid you adieu, and we'll see you next season. Mox sliding around the top of the gap and able to find 2 kills. 43 seconds to go. Anyone going to be in on the point? Exceed win that gunfight. Good boy. He's going to slide back in onto A, and it's a good start for LAG Academy.
Mox is the last person I expected to be sitting up into plane and winning those gunfights, but I mean across the board, Exceed is 4-0, Mox is 3-0 respectively. I mean, they are just not letting Fantastic Four get out of this spawn, and we've seen it time and time again how punishing it can be. 18 seconds on the clock, you're down 10 lives. I mean, number 3 Slack, he's gonna maybe touch the B site for a little bit to give his teammates some time, but Mental quickly turns and burns the second it lights up blue, and already that's all she wrote. Fantastic Four having a bit of a PTSD here on this spawn trap.
You know, Mental was pretty far pushed up into the spawn, got a little bit over aggressive, and was trying to push right up and continue on that spawn trap. So maybe you're looking for everyone to kind of cool their jets a little bit, bring it back down to reality. But even then, with that small mistake, he was able to respond right off the rip and get another kill in the back pocket. And it's LAG Academy who take the first round, a defensive hold at mid-map that was not broken for 3-4 waves. And it's a good start. Oh, that looks nice. The Slack gets cut down, but I mean, you just kind of look at how this entire start of the control began, and it really was a quick hold and a quick break from LAG right through mid-map alley. And after 6 kills from Exceed and 5 from Nero, I mean, it was quick work. They closed that round out quickly.
I completely agree, and Gentroid again has yet to find his footing. He is 0-5. He desperately needs to kind of change up something here to get back in this game, but already first blood's going to side Fantastic Four. That's what they needed. That's 3 down of all of LAG falls, and a little bit of some confusing gunfights going out here as Slack pushes up in the spawn and looks to punish them from behind.
Slack's got to be careful. He might be able to find a couple if he's lucky. He will. Mental can snuff him out. He'll win the gunfight as well. 2 more will fall. Fantastic Four lining up the kill feed. Thanks to Fire with a double kill. 56 seconds to go. Now they're on defense, and it's up to LAG Academy to get their foot back at mid-map. How do you move out of spawn? Well, sorry, guys. It's going to come through the kills, and so far they've been unsuccessful. They haven't broken this setup, but that might be the one to leave things open, and the dam begins to flood. LAG Academy starting to light it up. They're starting to move up as a team. Here comes the playing control. Gentroid going to find one. Exceed will shut him down. And Nero with the nade. 34 seconds to go. You need to make a decision here for LAG Academy, and it looks like A will be the call. They're going to start working on that first bit of progression.
Huge gunfight that Exceed needed to win into plane to allow his teammates to push up onto the A site freely. And I mean, he's sitting at 9-3. I said he needed to continue the streak from the S&D, and that is exactly what he's doing as he finds 2 more and goes on a 5 streak. Probably going to start playing for streaks here as progress starts going on the A side, as well as number 7. I mean, as well as he is on the beat.
Oh, Exceed. Oh, how are you dancing around this? Dips out of dodge just in time. And yeah, he will be playing for streaks. 1 more kill. He will get the artillery. And his teammates should be helping him out here. Just help get information, feed it to Exceed, get him those streaks. This is pivotal for the success in this game. And he jumps out at a bad time. Hate to see it happen that way, but Fantastic Four chain some kills together and they stop some progression, but A is still capped. So remember, overtime and control works different. It's not about kills, it's about caps on the point. And that's a good way to start, but LAG, again, need to make a decision over the B. How do they play through the middle of the map? Well, guess what? They're back in the spawn trap they found themselves in the start of this round, and they are not finding success getting back to mid-map.
Feels like the fire show once again as he is just trying to keep his team into this as they have a lead of 16 lives over LAG, and Nero being the opening kill once again to allow his teammates to kind of force their way into mid and get out of this spawn trap as it goes back and forth of the trades in the plain site. But that's going to be Exceed who gets the first touch onto the B site. Exceed is finding another one onto Fires. He shuts him down, 3 down for the side of LAG Academy. But no time going in just yet as they're looking for the spawn trap as Exceed has pushed up into their spawn now. That's going to force number 1 and 2 Fire and Methods to kind of go on a hunt for him.
And how important would those streaks be now? You can alleviate some pressure at mid-map, or do you choose to hold on the investment? 8 versus 7. Mental completely tagged up, but still somehow finding a way to keep that progress moving. 26 seconds to go. The contest is there, and the defensive hold from Fantastic Four might do its job just enough. For the 3rd time in this round, LAG Academy have been pushed back into spawn, and they are struggling to get to mid-map. Nero's able to open up with a kill. Exceed working underneath, and this might be the break they need. It's 6 versus 4. You have numbers for Fantastic Four, but the spawns are so far out. If you get the kill here, this might do it. He can't stay alive. Nero, last one on the point, will get cut down, and that might be all she wrote. It's up to Mental. Can you update your time? There's the 1 kill you need. Trying to find another, but Fantastic Four will shut him down.
So close. LAG, I mean, Nero opening with those 2 kills. Again, just creating the path for his team to push up and get onto the site. And unfortunately, when Exceed turned to get onto Gentroid, he fell. He got shot in the back, and it all collapsed onto LAG. So Fantastic Four, I mean, it was done sloppily, but they did it. They now tied 1-1 in the control. They aren't allowing LAG to kind of run with it and shut them down, but we're going on a defensive, and we already saw what LAG could do in the first round. Let's see if they can do it again.
No, we haven't talked much about stats, so why don't we change that right now? Fire at 13 and 9, Methods at 8 and 11, Slacked 9 and 11, Gentroid almost triple negative, not having a great game. On the opposite end, I mean, Mox 8 and 6, okay. Mental 8 and 11, okay, that's not bad. Everyone else is doing their job. Fantastic Four, with how little production they've been given on the map, they're still finding a way to stay involved in this game. Methods will find his 9th kill, and now we move into the point with Fire, but he gets cut down swiftly from the top of plane, and Slack's trying to work his life inside the point, working on that 2nd bit of progress. 1 will push through the back, 1 will fall. Nope, Mox will take him down, and a good defensive hold from LAG.
Exceed once again just making the plane his home as he shuts down 3 players of Fantastic Four. And again, once off of spawn, Mental's looking to punish them, but he finally gets taken down. And so lives pretty even across the board still. LAG not able to get that convincing fashion once again, but now we're on board with Nero, who's in plane. He's going to push up, and he's going to try and shut down players of Fantastic Four, who have still been unable to push out as he finds 2 before he falls to a stuck nade. Exceed pushed up into crates at the B site. LAG just looking to punish time and time again on the side of Fantastic Four. Number 3 Slacked out on his lonesome, trying to get some time towards A, but he obviously gets shut down quickly as none of his teammates are even within a mile.
The pressure's not working through the middle of the plane. Fantastic Four have been unsuccessful in that facet of this game. Awkward gunfight goes the way of Methods. Regardless, they move under the wing, and they're going to currently work on B. Time should stop if they touch the point. At this moment, they will not. Mox can't win the gunfight. Purple still in the kill feed. LAG Academy doing their best to clear off Fantastic Four from both points, and they're successful. 10 seconds to go. We might be looking at a round 3 win for LAG Academy, and they'd be up 2-1 currently in this game 3. Shots still ring out, bodies still fall, but it's the defense that stands tall at the end of the day, and that means LAG Academy have the lead.
I mean, LAG, again, they just do it in such a convincing fashion as they give Fantastic Four just no foothold to do anything. We're going to watch Mox on the wing. He finds one. Is he going to find Gentroid the second? He is. Gentroid just having such a slow series. As we've seen in every map so far, he has just been falling behind time and time again.
You know, some teams can get away with only 3 players really pulling their weight and 1 having a rough game, sure, but Fantastic Four doesn't seem to be that squad, right? We talked about BBG having that same issue before. Now they started to figure out how they can get everyone contributing when 1 player slacks. Gentroid, double negative. You need him to start picking it up. Fantastic Four on the brink of going down 2-1 in this series. After a very, very slow S&D performance, Mental working through the plane. He will find his first blood of the round. One more challenge. Mental easily going to win that one. Don't contest the 1v1 king. He will make you pay for it. As right now, LAG Academy are having all of their fun in the middle of the cabin, and they aren't getting taken out of position.
Method's just trying to run from the fire of Mental, but he gets caught out anyway. But finally, some plane control for the side of Fantastic Four, but they can't give any wiggle room to LAG. This is game point for them as A starts to get some tick progress going in. Almost to number 3 in your mini-map. That's going to be Slack as he tries to contest it, but Exceed and Nero see it coming, but the rest of the cavalry comes in. 2 ticks onto the A site, and Exceed is still alive. Exceed has just been sitting here half health, and nobody on Fantastic Four has punished him for it. So that's A basically gone and dusted, one of the harder points to capture. And now plane control is going to the side of LAG Academy once they push up into the mid site. Fantastic Four, 2 minutes on the clock. You have to keep LAG out. 1 wipe, and that could be all she wrote for this control.
We've seen A get a lot easier for teams as they play through the middle of the plane. They work through cockpit, and they get the spawn trap going in the middle of the map. From there, he just funnel kills right under the wing. But at this moment, LAG Academy, 18-17, so life differential is not super huge, obviously, for both sides. But you are looking at the positioning. One out of position, it is Nero. Is he waiting for spawns, or is he trying to isolate Jintroid? I think it's the latter. Well, he gets cut down. Numbers fall through. Fire falls off the wing. Will get cut down for it. 1:34 to go. Plenty of time on the clock for both sides, but you're looking at LAG and how they want to play on offense. They need to group up. The problem is that they're staggering hits one at a time, and they don't have a full push, and Methods is just going to eat that all day. 18-18, 10-24 for Jintroid. We'll stick on board with Methods on a 2 spree. He might get cut down in a moment, goes up to the wing, but he surely will fall. He will, and Fire takes down Nero, 12-13. Not a lot of progress at mid-map for LAG Academy.
I mean, Mental's push up in the spawn, doing work, just picking Fantastic Four 1-in-1 again, but Fantastic Four is also pushed up into his teammate's spawn and picking them off. So it's just a trade fest going on right now. The Fantastic Four is winning, so it's causing Mental to back up into mid-site and hopefully shoot a couple players in the back to kind of create a lane for his teammates to push through. That's exactly what he does, is he finds 2. So now all of LAG can kind of push up here, but Slack, he's trying to have something to say about it, as somebody from LAG is going to have to turn into crates and shut him down.
I mean, Mental has been eating in cabin, letting that AK-74U spit like the hammer of dawn. It just has not been challenged on the opposite end. You got 30 seconds to go, but it's 8 versus 5. This should be a round win for Fantastic Four. Detroit is working through the back. Now a ratio of 2 lives to 1, 7-3, even better. This could be a round win, and it will be 7-2. They should be able to close this one down with 24 seconds to go. You force LAG's hand. They're not able to respond, and we will be looking at a tied control going into the final round, which means it comes down to caps counted. If that makes sense, who knows? English is hard. We'll see who is on offense.
What a scary showing out of Fantastic Four, though, to have a player being so negative and still being able to hang with the LAG team and tying up the control in 2-2. And again, a lot of it rests on Fire's shoulders, as every game mode, time and time again, we've been talking about how Fire has just been kind of being the headway for his team constantly again and again. And Jintroid, if he just picked it up a little bit, this might be a completely different game. I mean, Slacked is 17-22. I mean, 21. Okay, but Jintroid, 12-27. There's nobody on the side of LAG Academy even close to going as negative as that. And that's scary. That's scary if he starts turning on the gears for LAG Academy, that you're this close of a match, and one of their players is double neg. So as we start getting into this, it is going to be a defensive hold for LAG, which we have seen time and time again be very scary for the side of Fantastic Four, but they're definitely trying to make some headway onto this A site.
Yeah, there's no question if Jintroid was shooting back appropriately, this would be a very different game and probably a 2-1 series lead for Fantastic Four at this moment. But Mental got cut down in the top of the cabin, 24-18, having a great game. For Jintroid, well, this is the time to turn things around and close out this game. It will be Fantastic Four on the attack, so LAG had more caps. But, I mean, quick work on A. You could say that sentence many different ways. Not much better than that. As streaks are starting to get invested, I think it was Methods who was working now on the cruise missile. He will pick up one in spawn. Needs one more kill, and he will get cut down from the back. Mental off spawn, able to find the kill. And now they chain a couple together. But they have 2 minutes. They need to hold Fantastic Four off the point. It's going to be difficult, but it is possible.
The scary thing now is because they got that wipe onto Fantastic Four and they invested streaks, they can kind of force a bit of a spawn trap here, but they're not looking to capitalize on it. Very slow gameplay coming from the side of LAG as nobody's really budged too much as Mental is just sitting in the corner of the plane, and Fantastic Four starting to punish them for that as they're just pushing up and snapping onto all the corners. Mental's come from the back though. He'll find two, thankfully saving his team from another beat cap. And time again, 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. Mox looking to make his way up the side of the map as the team would spawn in and looking for another spawn trap.
Yeah, Mental had to be careful. He was in that same position in the first round and a little bit too far pushed up, gets naded out. You don't want to have a split spawn, so he did the right thing, just held his ground. And same thing with Nero. Almost picks off Methods at range, unsuccessful, 17-14. And this is a bit of a stalemate at mid-map. Who bites first is the big question. Mental has to win the gunfight in cabin, won't do so. Jintroid finds the kill, and Exceed working through the wing. It's Fire underneath comes up for the challenge, and Exceed finds 2 on the trade, but 27-23, he will drop. Nero drops down to Slack, and Slack wins the gunfight. They slide on in, 14-10. Numbers are there for Fantastic Four, and the tick continues. Mental back up to the top of the wing. This is a very dangerous position to be in for Fantastic Four. If Mental goes big, this could be the round.
Fire and Methods combined like 60 and 47, just trying to keep Fantastic Four alive in this control as there's a tick and a half. It's going to get deprogressed just a little bit from LAG Academy, but Fantastic Four just need one good wipe to force their way in and actually make a comeback onto this control. LAG, you need to play your game as you have in the first 2 rounds. You can't start punishing yourself now as Exceed finds 2. He doesn't fall, and Jintroid's left on his own to try and win the 1v1. He's unable to do it, and now lives even across the board.
You need cabin control if you're Fantastic Four. Jintroid looked absolutely lost in that gunfight. 30 seconds to go, 7v7. Exceed on your screen. He has so much room to work with and so much damage he can deal. Fire underneath, working with Slack. The duality there. Fire gonna challenge on the outside. Exceed has to play his life. It's underneath. Slack wins a massive gunfight. 5v5, 20 seconds to go. Mental from the top of the wing. 5v4. Mox with another pickup. 5v3. They might have done just enough. That is one of the most impressive defensive holds you will see in Control. If they pull this round off, that is a huge momentum boost for this team to go up 2-1 in the series. 5v2. 6 seconds to go. That's gonna be it. I don't know how in the world LAG Academy were able to hold on for 2 minutes with the life differential favoring Fantastic Four, but they held on, they get the kills, they take them down, they win the overtime in Control, and they go up 2-1 in the series. Oh my God.
Mental held his artillery until the last seconds to call it in. I don't know if he didn't realize he had them, but he had them since he was in plane like 10 lives ago, and he did not invest those until the very last second when it didn't even matter. But Exceed and Mental, I mean, they are what kept LAG alive in that series. I mean, across the board. I mean, Mox, he ended up positive, I'm pretty sure. Nero was still being annoying, but Exceed and Mental just time and time again, 2 and 3, just fighting Fantastic Four on their own time and time again and always coming out on top.
For Mental, I mean, it's an insurance policy. You need 1 kill, you got a streak. Just call it in, man. Like, that's your insurance right there. But we talked about in the start of this Control, we said Mental needs to be a factor. He needs to just stay consistent on the map and find a way to at least get himself involved in the kill feed more often. What does he do? He takes over plane for the majority of the game. Fantastic Four had the break. All they needed was some cabin control to keep Mental from going right back in the same spot he was in time and time again in this Control. Jintroid has one of his worst maps so far in Season 3. He couldn't maintain a pressure in the top of the wing. He jumps down, looks lost in the gunfight. LAG Academy come right back up mid-map. They win the subsequent kills. They win the overtime. I mean, you talk about needing to do one thing and collapsing completely on offense with a numbers advantage in your pocket. LAG Academy had no business winning that round on overtime, and they did it anyway. If you're Fantastic Four, you slam your head against your monitor, you say, okay, regain, you go into the hard point now. That was an impressive hold on defense from LAG.
Their defensive rounds were just so convincing, and then the first offensive round, I mean, they almost brought it back right then and there. And that last round 5, that was scary because it looked like a completely different Fantastic Four. It looks like a completely different LAG. They started getting in their face. They started slowing down their pacing. They started to get punished for it. But Fantastic Four, Jintroid needed to step it up. It's not all about kills, but when you're almost triple negative and haven't really been showing anything, any life this entire series, you have to start talking about it. And for LAG, that's almost a little scary though. It was basically a 3v4, and yet you went to a round 5 control. And now you're going into the hard point. Should Jintroid wake up even just a little bit? What are you going to do at that point? And so, again, I'm looking at Exceed mostly to continue what he's been doing in the S&D, doing what he's doing in control. Mental across the board has been a consistent player. Mox, you already know he's always going to end up positive. He's always going to be a consistent player. So I need Exceed to come out in this hard point hot and not allow Fantastic Four to carry Jintroid along.
Yeah, we could talk about the silver lining of that game. Obviously, Mental having a huge performance, right? Like winning clutch and crucial 1v1s in the plane. But I think the bigger story, really, Ali, that you hit the nail on the head there, was that Jintroid was non-existent for that entire game. And it went to an overtime in control. You went to an overtime on checkmate control in a 3v4. Like, that says more about Fantastic Four than LAG Academy. Now we go to Raid Hardpoint, and we will close on Raid S&D if we need to, but this is a map where your ARs have to be unbelievably crucial when it comes to rotations and comes to winning rotational fights. We look at people like Exceed, like Mox, like Methods, like that is, and Fire as well, obviously, that is the storyline going into this hard point. If your ARs do not do their job, you will not have a fun time on Raid. And we talk about Raid being a neutralizing map for a lot of teams. When series are going awry, when things aren't going right, you go on Raid, things tend to kind of even out. This is a very, very big match, not only for Fantastic Four. Obviously, you lose this, you're out. But for Jintroid, they're going to a map that has been known for a decade. You know what you need to do on it. There are no secrets. There are no question marks on Raid. You do your job. Fantastic Four will send this to a game 5. For LAG Academy, Ali, you're just looking at Mox and you're looking at Exceed. I think those two ARs right there, if they have a big game, this one's done.
Absolutely. And I feel like win condition for the side of Fantastic Four at this point, just tell Jintroid to sit and heal. Just say, Jintroid, you know what? Objective. You just sit there, hopefully get some trades going through, rotate. At that point, I would let Slack run free and just tell Jintroid to just focus on the objective, because this series has not been a turnaround for him. So, I mean, win control for them is definitely going to be having to lean on Fire and just get Jintroid into position where he is not constantly just not being existent on the map. And then on the side of LAG, Exceed needs to continue doing what he's doing. Mox is going to have to answer to Fire. He's going to have to kind of be on par with him, because we know Fire, again, he continuously tries to show up again and again for his team to try to match the pace of Mox and match the pace of Exceed and try to keep them in the game. So if you start shutting him down, LAG could look at closing out the series in a much more convincing fashion than we've seen them previously do.
Yeah, and LAG Academy needs to win the late game, something they just weren't able to do in game 1, right? They won 4/5 of that hard point, and when it came down to winning rotations and keeping up slaying that they had, large part and thanks to Mox, it was quiet at the end of the hard point, and they lost because of it. If they can change that small aspect, win the late game, win rotations, get everyone contributing consistently, and maintain a presence of winning team trades and slaying appropriately at the end of the hard point, this is very much a situation where they can walk away from this series victorious and win 3-1. But if they get to the late game and they struggle, we will be going to a game 5. There's absolutely zero doubt in my mind that Fantastic Four will be able to steal this one away. But why talk more? Why not just get into it? This could be the final map we see of Fantastic Four in Season 3 of Challengers Elite, where LAG Academy bounced back. Will they continue on from their run in the control? Will they take the series 3-1? Or will we see a game 5? You already know I want a game 5 round 11, but Ali, let's get into it.
Already into it. We're going to see if the gunfights and trades going back and forth. Mox accidentally kills himself, but he manages to take one of Fantastic Four down with him. Methods fine tune as the trades go out. LAG are out and across the map as the first couple of seconds. The initial goes to the side of Fantastic Four, but Mental is in mid, kind of in his own world right now, looking to make his way through P2 to maybe try to fight for spawns here as he catches Fire in the back, and maybe that's exactly the starts that they needed.
Yeah, Mental very early off the rip, went right into courtyard and said, okay, we're going to set up for B2. That's the call. We're going to work to the back of kitchen. And, well, he gets spawns there as well. But Methods has other ideas, currently working through Art, able to find 1 kill on the Mental, so he'll cut down the back push. But you still have numbers here for LAG Academy. Here comes the flank. Fantastic Four. Can they respond with the team trade? So far, yes. But here comes the push out the front. It's Mental inside. He gets off respawn very quickly. Exceed rotating through courtyard alongside Nero, and they spawned out at Zig. So numbers are here for LAG Academy, an early lead for Fantastic Four, and an early hold for LAG Academy.
They definitely can hold it from the front here, but they do have to worry about Methods coming through staircase. As soon as I say that, he shoots Nero in the back and punishes him, and lighting up blue is your kill feed. So now Elite going to the side of Fantastic Four. Slow start across the board out of mostly everyone on LAG is Nero's 1-5, Exceed is 1-4, and that was the one thing I said that their win condition needed to be both of those players to start off hot. So Fantastic Four looking to punish. Methods is 8-3. Gentroid showing some life at 4-4 across the board. I think that's more positive than he's been the whole series. And again, now they're on rotation as well. So Fantastic Four are definitely looking to run with this one.
Yeah, positive signs right now. Methods 8-3, letting that AR sing and sing quite well. Mental on your screen, working through the top of Mansion. Has a big gunfight to win, and Methods 9-3, probably working towards streaks. No, only on a 1 spree. Well, regardless, still fun to look at. Now Nero inside the hill, 82 points in counting for Fantastic Four, but now we go for the new pop. LAG Academy need a full 60 to get back in this game because it's gotten away very quickly. But here comes the break through the front. It's a driveway control and a hold for Fantastic Four, and it's been successful as they're inside. They're set up and no one's in a position to contest.
I mean, LAG had the early rotation, they had the early setup in Fantastic Four. I mean, they just flooded in and shut down every single player. Nobody even fell on the side of Fantastic Four. I mean, Nero held his lead for a little bit on that shoulder peek and just got shot in the side. So they're able to fight their way right back in, but they have a lot of work to do to catch up to this long deficit. Not to mention, they're going to have to start making their way across the court side to get to the basketball in the next hill.
The way Methods is playing, I mean, I know he's going to the flank later with Zuma, so he wants this one over as quickly as possible. And the chef's cooking it, 14-14. Nero on your screen on the rotation. We go back to basketball court. Has to work through Methods right inside kitchen. It's a money challenge, and it's Nero who might get cut. Methods backs off the play. 3 will collapse in on the gunfight. He's able to pick up 1 in the process. Almost gets Exceed, but the damage is done, and his job is done right in the back of Gentroid. A great flank to cut everyone down. And with all said and done, all the pressure falls on the outside of the hill, and Fantastic Four have cleared away the pressure, and they're doing a great job of holding down the time.
It's been a game 5 for these two teams. Time and time again, it's looking like Fantastic Four want to go the distance as they break 120 points as LAG has struggled to even make it to 50 just yet. And Methods, I mean, 17-5. Somebody has to shut him down. Mox, unfortunately, 8-9. I mean, not even doing bad, but when he can't put his team on his back, this is what happens. Nero and Exceed 3-10 and 4-10 respectively. Mental 9-6, trying to keep his head up above water, but I mean, rotations, they get lost and picked apart time and time again. And scrap time going the way of Fantastic Four to be an 100-point lead. Spaceman.
And once again, the veteranship is tangible, but fire at 2-10. Fantastic Four playing once more at 3v4, and they're making it look easy. Gentroid trophies are out. We go back to P1 and Spiral. Who's going to win it from driveway? LAG Academy have numbers here. Trades are there as well. But we sit inside of courtyard for the moment. Exceed 6-10 on your screen. Very quiet. No one really challenging. We look for the pressure to mount. As gunfight's falling outside, Nero will pick up 1, but you're already thinking about Spiral to get popped. And no challenges come through for Fantastic Four. A big 2-piece from Exceed might open things up, but they need a full 60 here to get back in this game.
It looks scary for just a moment as now Exceed and Nero respectively have tripled their kill counts already, and Fantastic Four Fire is struggling to get back on the board as he is 3-13, matching his teammates from previous series. And LAG looking to hopefully break 100 points here in the coming hills, but again, they have a lot of work to do to come back into this game as again, hill is about to pop and 2 players from Fantastic Four are already on the site.
Yeah, if shots ring out and these clutch 2 pieces are great and dandy, but it really just depends on how you rally that into a positive break on the opposite end. You have to go into the hill and get a clean setup. Again, those extra kills will work if you're able to hold on to a lead, but at this moment, I mean, even with that, it hasn't been much for LAG Academy. Fantastic Four not wasting a lot of time getting into the hill and maintaining this lead. Van blows up, won't find anything. Methods will cut down Exceed. Numbers at Courtyard. Gintroid doing his job. And Methods at 23 and 7 has been unchallenged. A full 60 might be going the way of Fantastic Four.
Again, LAG tried to fight their way through the back, but Gintroid just answered to both of them and allowed their teammates to focus on the front push from LAG Academy, and it just went all Fantastic Four's way. So, sure, 15 seconds go to LAG and they break 100, but Fantastic Four need measly 2 more hills to take this hard point away from them. And again, they are set up on rotation, and LAG have struggled time and time again to force their way into this garage hill. Fire finds 2 and doubles his kills at 6 and 15. Methods is 23 and 9. Respectively, pulling a Mox on a tier as the rest of his teammates are helping him. But Gintroid is 20 and 15. I mean, having the game of his life so far in this series as they now break 200 points.
Yeah, with Zinni, you winnie right now. You're at 204 to 108. This one has not been close. After that first couple of hills, every single time, Fantastic Four have won the rotation. They've won the majority of the time in the hill. You have 3 inside, no one drops. Nades are out, trades are there. LAG Academy have not gotten close to sniffing this hill. Here comes one member. 2 will fall. Gintroid almost with a triple. Mox last alive. Won't land long with 226 to 108. I mean, you win it on any single hill now. This is basically a walk through the park. You can just break when you want, where you want, how you want. It has not been hard for Fantastic Four.
I mean, across the board on Fantastic Four, they all have over a minute of hill time, slacked pushing 2 minutes. I mean, they have just stacked hills time and time again, and have always come out on top with the trades, and LAG just haven't figured out how to answer to that just yet. And sure, they got the early rotation for now, but again, here comes all the trades. The kill feed starts to light up. Blue and Mental left on his own. He gets shut down. Now both teams are spawning on the sides, and Fantastic Four, they find a first touch, and now 10 seconds just for them to tie up the series.
I mean, even with that great hold from LAG in the front with Mental, they still don't have time. They keep getting broken. That's it. We're going to game 5. LAG were non-existent when it came to holding the hard point. You had numbers in the front. You had Mental working on 2 kills. Exceed in the back gets cut. I don't know why he's watching the same position as Mental, because Mental has that line. Exceed should be watching weights and watching the cut from driveway. He gets shut. That's your backline AR completely taken out of the play. Nero running in. They're stacking the same sides. It's just questionable decisions from LAG Academy. Like, there was not a single hill in that game where Fantastic Four didn't just walk their way into the hill and take over. That was not a contest.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. Slacked his engagement, slacked it over 2 minutes in hill, right? His engagement was 11 and 12. 11 and 12. While Fire and Gintroid decided to trade places for some reason. Gintroid went double positive, and then Methods was just putting on an absolute clinic. I didn't even know if I was watching the same team anymore. I mean, that was insane. And Fantastic Four just stacked time and time again on the hill, and LAG Academy just couldn't come out on top on trades. It was always Fantastic Four lighting up kill feed. They'd find 3 onto LAG Academy. It would leave 1 player on LAG just kind of out stuck on their own and getting shot in the back by Methods. And it was the story time and time again. LAG just could not get any footing.
I mean, you see it in the replays here. They were getting read like a book. And even on that last play, talked about it a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, you're worried about numbers pushing from Mansion. But Exceed has no business really watching that side. He should be watching right through driveway because you're the backline AR. You're the one in the hill who has to make sure you lock down chances for the rest of your team to push up. Even if you lose the gunfight Mansion side, you have to worry about the push from the back. It seemed like there were multiple times in this hardpoint where LAG were all looking the same way. And Fantastic Four just went behind them. They just did a circle and they just took him out. Like, it never seemed like LAG Academy had a strong understanding of how they wanted to play the start of this hard point. And every hill, they got it broken. They were there early. They had no clean setup. And Fantastic Four would walk in, get the break, and then hold the entire time. There was never a single moment where LAG Academy looked like they were bringing the game back. I'm just shocked that we went from the S&D and the control, where it looked like everyone's starting to click, Gintroid's having a bad series, and then Chef Zinni shows up, and all of a sudden we're going to game 5. I don't know what's going on, but
I thought it was gonna be Fire. I thought Fire was gonna be the limelight at the end of Fear. He went triple negative. He went triple negative. Him and Jintroid switched places, and now they win the hard point 250 to 120, and we're going into this S&D, and I don't even know what to tell you anymore. If Jintroid continues to fire on all cylinders, Methods continues to put on a clinic, LAG, I mean, they were struggling to find their way back. I can see why these teams, time and time again, when they go up against each other, they go to game 5. At Fantastic Four,
yeah.
I mean, LAG fell to Fantastic Four earlier in the day at a Game 5 S&D. Before that, Fantastic Four fell to LAG in a Game 5 S&D. I mean, do we just flip the script? Does it just continue? Does the cycle continue? Are we going to see LAG come out on top in this S&D?
I surely, I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. But listen, like, Raid has a way of neutralizing things. Raid has a way of just resetting the universe. Like, the Earth is healing right now. It's deciding that it's time for everyone to chill the out, and we need to go to a game 5 and finish this series. It's got to be Raid. It's got to be game 5. Here's the series layout. Fantastic Four won game 1. They won game 4. They take both hard points. They lose the chunk in the middle. But this S&D, you know, I want to say LAG have a chance, and then they're going to take this. I certainly do. But we're going to Raid. Like, it's not just an S&D game 5. We're going to Raid. There's a very big difference between Moscow S&D and Raid S&D. There's a very big difference. And if we see Fantastic Four come out as composed and as competent on this map as we just saw, this one might be not. And this might be 6-0. I'm just telling you right now. I'm going to say it right now. This might be a 6-0. If Fantastic Four do what they just did on Raid, this one might be done.
I can't believe you just, that is the hottest take I think I have heard from Spaceman. No, I completely believe you. If it goes 6-0, honestly, I'm gonna quit. But as we hop right into it, Bomb is slowly making its way towards the B site as it is just a stalemate. As all the Fantastic Four start to make the rotation through to mid and possibly punish this, but Nero thankfully gets the first kills. Time and time again, we see a little bit of an aggressive push on the B site.
First blood. LAG Academy. Traded out. Slack able to pick up Exceed. Mental working right through. Is able to find one. Someone doesn't get traded. Oh, Mental, you bamboozled him, you dirty man! Jintroid takes down Mox. Everyone falls. LAG Academy get the first round on the board.
And you know what? It might be 6-0, but I think it's going to go not in the way you think. I think it's going to be on the side of LAG after Mental just turns and burns on all players of Fantastic Four. Oh, Fire, you needed to get the trade desperately. So now they go up 1-0 in S&D, Mental 2-0, Nero 2-0, Exceed and Mox 0-1 respectively, but that's fine. They just slid in front for their teammates. Fantastic Four. Again, Jintroid and Slack, they're on the board. Methods and Fire are waiting to get started, but again, we're only in the second round as Bomb making a hot take towards the A site as they're going to run into the pre-fire of Exceed.
One could say Mental is going mental. I'm sorry. 4v4 still up. No one to drop. Jintroid your bomb carrier. A little bit hesitant to move up to A, but that will be the call. Bomb will go down. Guardian Angel trying to work through the middle of the courtyard, but numbers are there, and more point, that's Mental. He gets stunned. Bomb is down. Nades fly out. No trophy.
Mental and Mox are caught out in mid as they find Slack going a bit on rotation to help his teammates, and now they can kind of push their way through steps here, but Jintroid and Fire both find kills at the same time, and Jintroid turns around and finds a free kill on a Mox from stairs. Is he gonna find Mental? He finds Mental too. Jintroid finding 3 players from LAG. You should never get that free. Why didn't they turn to look at Bomb? Watch it one more time. Finds the kill on Exceed. He reloads, he turns and sees a free kill on a Mox. A quick snap right onto it. Jeez, this man is cracked as he again makes a 360 to then shut down Mental.
You might have heard our complaints during that control. I'm sorry, Jintroid. I didn't mean it.
I know, I'm so sorry.
You just decided just to not show up. That's fine. If you wanted to save all of this energy for games 4 and 5, that's totally cool with me, man. You just got to do what you got to do. You're 4-1. I totally understand. But right now, a great responsive round for Fantastic Four. And again, when your bomb planter gets kills like that, well, you're feeling pretty confident, aren't you? Mox will be running it. 1 and 2 Exceed. Yet to find one in this game. Methods very quietly moving under the window. Slack watching the hot blood will get it. Protects his brother on the opposite end. First blood for Fantastic Four. Method's still looking for his first.
Some very close quarters gameplays out Fantastic Forest. 3 players are inside of building right now, and Bomb has yet to go down. It's going to be on Mox as he's hoping to get a pick maybe before laying this out on his own. But Mental, he's doing a very long flank into their own spawn, I guess expecting a player from Fantastic Four to try and shoot some of them in the back, but that's just not the case as Fire is just stuck out in the mid watching the cross, and see he has to get a kill here as he has a bunny hop and gets the free onto Methods, but little does he know 2 more players of Fantastic Four on the other side of that wall. They need to play this aggressive. They have 28 seconds. Bomb needs to go down or the kills need to come through. Exceed gets the free kill on the Slack side. What were you looking at? Gentroid falls. Bomb doesn't even have to go down as Fire is stuck out in mid.
Well, it was a risky stack. Now Fire's last alive. We're going to triple stack inside Art. Okay, that's a call. Fire working through the back, 1v3. He might have been spotted. I think he was. Yep. Mox knows he's there, and so does Mental. Oh, he might get behind Mental. He will. Wins 1. Mox, don't peek. Please. Don't make this a 1v1. Mox has to be careful. Exceed in the window. They know where he's at. It's just about baiting him out of position. Mox should challenge. Mox slides away. Mox gets caught. 1v1. Fire. The ice. 10 bullets will reload. Can he catch Exceed? He knows where he's at. Can he get the peek? If Exceed peeks, Exceed should get him. Exceed's gonna get him. And that is a smart play by LAG Academy.
I was sweating there for a second, the back and forth, and Exceed not able to clean it up, but bunny hop on the Methods one more time, and I mean, Fire, he made it scary for a second, but LAG once again just showing how good they are at S&D. I mean, across the board, they're all pretty even, whereas Fantastic Four, you have Gentroid kind of carrying a lot of the load, and Fire at 3-2. Methods, who we saw just dominating in the hard point before, just unable to find his footing once again.
Might be a little bit worse if this were round like 5 or 6, but right now 0-2 is not horrible because Gentroid and Slack are picking up the slack. Aha. Methods on your screen. Bomb moving up very aggressively. All the way to the back. Slack able to find first blood. Welcome to the back, Josiah. How you feeling? Nades fly out. Trophies aren't down, so he survives the artillery, and he continues to stay alive. Slack with the movement. Absolutely disgusting. There goes a nade to follow up with it. A minute to go on the clock, but you have numbers here. Fire will get the bomb down. Exceed and Mental need to regroup and work together if they want this retake.
3v2. Bomb has still yet to go down. Mental, what could have been a resurgence, does get shut down by Methods as he finds his first kill, and Exceed 1v3. It's not impossible, but it is when Methods snaps onto you like that. And again, back and forth is all this series has been. Back and forth in some of the weirdest ways. We're going to watch Methods shut down Mental and Exceed once more.
Well, we asked for Methods. Where are you at, brother? Chef Tony shows up. 2 kills in the round. Rip succeeds. And that was all off the back of Slack. I mean, Slack moves up, gets first blood, works his way around the gunfight, avoids the nades, avoids the gunfire, finds 2 kills. Slacked at 4-3. Haven't had to ask much of Fire, which is a good thing. All tied up now. Please, for the love of God, give us a round 11, COD gods. But this one's going back and forth.
You may be one of the only people that I know wants a round 11 stress every single series,
yes.
But Bomb gets the free plant onto B as onto A as Fantastic Four kind of push up their mid, maybe looking for a collapse here. But Mental, I mean, if he peeks the right angle, he might get the information on that, but they end up backtracking on the stairs. We've seen a little bit of PTSD. Hey, this happened before, and see if it'll happen to the players of Fantastic Four. It does, as Nero finds both of them as they were trying to make the play. And so now Fantastic Four are stuck in a 2v4. No one on LEG is down. 20 seconds on the clock. Exceed picks off one. He might be able to pick off Methods, but Nero's has other plans. LEG go up 3-2.
That is the most lucky 2-piece I might have ever seen. This just should not exist. In no possible mathematical universe should this be a 2-piece. And yet it was. It was the buddy system. Hold my hand as we go down the steps. And they both got cut down. 3-2. LAG Academy with the lead. Raid has a way. Who will be your bomb carrier? Should be Slacked. Never mind, it will be Gentroid. Shut up, Spaceman. 4-4 for Gentroid. Mental at 2-3. Nero having a great game. Slacked avoiding the peek from Exceed. And Methods, Guardian Angel. Don't know if he saw him cross. Shouldn't have. And he'll spot him anyway. So you know one's at least in kitchen. And now what's the call? Well, it's going to be day.
Bomb needs to be planted very quickly as LAG gets the information to rotate to the backside, and Gentroid will be able to lay it for free, but LAG, you can see the spread across the map as they start to collapse onto it. Exceed finds one and plays with his life methods. You gotta get the trade for your teammate there, but again, Bomb is down there in a favorable position. Methods finally gets the trade out. Gentroid saves him from the likes of Mental, and again, back and forth we go. 25 seconds on the clock. Nero, what can he do if he shuts down Gentroid here? It might be all she wrote as Mox ends up finding him. Bomb needs to get defused up. 15 seconds. Fire, just play your life. I know you have Nero running at you. You just gotta win one. He's unable to. LAG now go up 2 rounds in the series. Nero on a 5 streak at 8-3.
He might be working towards streaks. I believe he would need 2 more kills to really get the artillery. And this was a great round again. LAG playing their positioning, and Fantastic Four leaving much to be desired as they moved through courtyard, and they sat in pretty much an awkward spot. Yes, they were trying to look for the peak on Exceed through kitchen, but you kind of leave yourself out in the open. And Methods couldn't get the trade in time, so at least they were able to get a number back, but it quickly depletes itself. Bomb carrier, Nero, 8-3. Nades fly out. He might be working towards streaks, and here's an overview. Thank you, production. We love you as always. 2 will stack on Spiral for Fantastic Four, but it looks like it's going to be another A plant, and here we'll go to Bomb.
Nero looking to stretch the bomb plant. This is the nerdiest thing I've seen all day, and I respect it nonetheless. Gentroid does find one, but he gets traded out. A couple going through, so ends up with Fantastic Four on top, but Bomb is planted. It is in favor on the side of LAG as Mox is in that window just watching over the defuse to fall. LAG looking to go up 5-2 here as the kills go in their favor.
Mox letting them know. 5-2. LAG Academy are 1 round away from kicking out Fantastic Four and leaving them in the dust. LAG Academy would move on tomorrow to the playoff bracket, a team that many, myself included, did not expect to be in the Challengers Elite season, did not expect to be making it this far in the Challengers Elite season. Oh, man.
Everyone firing on all cylinders in the LAG Academy. I mean, across the board, Nero 9-4, Exceed, Mox 5-5, respectively. Mox is on a 3 streak after the round we just saw out of him, and Bomb looking like it could have a free plant at A, but Fantastic Four, they just get punished for how slow they go for this offensive take time and time again as they finally start to lay it down. Number 3, Exceed's going to get that information and possibly get a pick here.
Bomb goes down. Okay, so you're looking at Methods on the opposite end. He's in Lambo. He's doing the same thing we saw earlier. You're waiting for that rotation through, and then you can pinch on the site if you have numbers, but you need a first blood for this really to be possible. Watching the cut through driveway, but numbers are going to hit through Tiki. Gentroid has to win 2 big gunfights, 2 massive gunfights. Can't do it. 3v2. Fire on the opposite end, able to pinch. Mox might come in for the challenge. Fire can't find the third. 2v1. Methods, last alive, able to find one. 1v1, Mental gets it, and LAG Academy will kick Fantastic Four out of the tournament, out of Season 3. There goes everyone. LAG Academy win it in Game 5, 6-2, and they move on to the playoff bracket tomorrow.
Man, and Methods knew he was going to be there too. That pre-fire onto the window, he knew that close gunfight was coming, but was unable to finish it. I feel like when it came to that S&D Fantastic Four, they just kept getting punished at this A site. Every time they went, they decided to push up way too late, and it allowed the LAG to get that information and make that rotation, and they just got punished for it every time they went to that A site, unfortunately. But LAG actually able to come out on top. Fox, it has been back and forth between these two teams. They have gone to Game 5 every time. First Fantastic LAG won, then Fantastic Four shut down LAG, and now they answer back with shutting them down in the Game 5 and pushing them out of our knockout bracket. I mean, what did you see? I mean, what went wrong? What went right? I mean, congrats to LAG, but Fantastic Four, they looked so good.
I'm seeing a Fantastic Four that has been vulnerable all day long and have had some of the longest days of Call of Duty to be played in this tournament. LA Gorillas, they were just able to come through with the Academy team and outlast them. Really, you know, seeing that Search and Destroy end the way that it did, especially seeing Mox come to life in Map 4 and Map 5, is really, really exciting to watch. And you're seeing the knockout bracket and our results up on screen, as you can see. It has been a long, exciting day of Call of Duty with really intense, close matchups.
If you wanted a synopsis of that game 5, just look at the play that happened. What was it, like the 4th round? LAG were able to win, where you picked up those 2 kills as Gintroid roamed down pole steps and walked to the right, and you pick up somehow a 2-piece that shouldn't exist from Nero. Like, that was the perfect summation of this game 5. And if you had told me going into this season for this season 3 of Challengers, if you had told me that this team of Methods and Slash, right, of this core group of 2 with, in general, just an amazingly well-rounded roster, if you had told me that they would struggle in S&D, I would have said you're absolutely insane. Like, you're absolutely crazy. There's no way that this team struggles in S&D, and yet they were getting red, man. Like, in the game 5, LAG Academy in both S&Ds, they were playing it almost to perfection, and it wasn't like there was any massive strat being pulled out, nothing that Orglis did earlier, but LAG Academy played their positions appropriately. They played trades, even when Slack was getting a little bit over-aggressive and finding success with it. Fox, it never seemed like they were worrying about what to do next. LAG Academy were composed, collected, and calm, and they closed out game 5 in a series where they were basically playing a 4v3 on the other end. And that says a lot about Fantastic Four's ability to play with a man down, but when it mattered most, they just were not able to figure out S&D, and that's what bit them in the end.
Right, I'm definitely seeing a lot of the same thing. I mean, they were clean and collected all throughout those search and destroys, and we saw it reign true once again in game 5, where it mattered the most.
Ali, kind of looking at a quick recap of this series, right? Talk to me about what you saw that you liked with LAG Academy. Rachino's out, right? You bring in someone new, and it seems to be working out. Mox is having a huge impact on this roster. Maybe the IGL shifted off of Mental and put on to Mox, and I think he's answering the call quite well.
No, Mox has just been consistent throughout the entire series. I mean, not to mention his opening hardpoint really making a statement, but LAG has so much potential. It's one of those teams that, again, exceed if he continue to be consistent, if Mental continues to be consistent, they can be a much scarier team than I feel like we saw today. It was definitely a couple hiccups here and there, a couple players falling behind in certain game modes, and I feel like once they kind of create that better consistent foundation, they could start arguably contesting with some of these top teams. But again, this was the knockout bracket. Those were 2 teams that have been knocking each other up back and forth, so they still have a lot of work to do if they want to take down teams like BBG and our top teams that we're going to be seeing tomorrow.
And we have seen all the teams from the knockout bracket get relegated and all the teams get promoted, which means we have some playoff brackets to show you guys and show you what we got going on tomorrow. Well, it's UT Crew versus LAG Academy, and the winner of that goes to the grand final single elimination bracket. And Easter versus Built by Gamers. Again, you know the deal. Winner goes to the grand finals. I expect that one, the Easter versus Built by Gamers, to be an absolute haymaker of a match. I mean, you talk about arguably the best team in North America, Easter versus Built by Gamers, who are on the ascend. UT Crew, LAG. UT Crew got to be careful in S&D now, y'all. They got to be very careful. LAG Academy look very, very good. But that is North America shaped up for you. Fox, getting a quick look at the playoff bracket for tomorrow. Anything stand out to you in a specific matchup or any team/player you're looking forward to watching with the pressure on them tomorrow?
Easter and Built by Gamers, man. I want to see more of this Built by Gamers roster on this upswing. It's going to be really exciting to see them face off some of the legends, some of the most powerful players in this region on Easter.
And Ali, same question to you before we close out tonight. Which team are you looking at tomorrow, and which team do you think is going to make the title run?
I'm definitely on the same level as Fox, Built by Gamers. I'm always excited to see a new team kind of being in the top contending conversation. But LAG, like you also touched on, seeing their S&D, I'm excited to see how much better it is against a team like UT Crew and how that ends up faring.
Yeah, this might be the best time for BBG to make the title run. We'll see if they can do it tomorrow, but that wraps it up here for the stream tonight. We've seen EU, we've seen NA, they've all concluded and they've all been wonderful to watch. Well, Orglis, they move on, and for LAG Academy, well, it was just as exciting. They take it to a thriller in Game 5, they win it against Fantastic Four, and Mental shows that he's here for a reason, and he deserves to play tomorrow. We will see all of our teams at the same time tomorrow. Europe up first, followed by North America, and we will crown a champion for the Season 3 of the Challengers Elite Series. We'll see you then.